that night was at 10 o'clock.
So what time did you wake up?
So I went to bed at 9 a.m. and I got up around noon.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're crazy.
Because he's in Vegas.
Yeah, he knows those tables are right downstairs.
They're giving away money at those tables.
Exactly. Howard, I've been in the same outfit the entire time.
Really? That's hard to believe. Believe it or not.
Believe it or not, I've been in the same jeans for the whole weekend.
So you...
I pack a bag.
So okay, so then you do a show Saturday night.
Saturday night...
What'd you do from noon to the show?
I ate and gambled and drank.
Of course.
Donated to the community.
You were drinking at noon?
Yeah. Well, I went down. Well, at noon I woke up and I just threw my pants back on and and a shirt that was laying on my rug.
Do you even shower?
No, not Saturday afternoon.
Why do that? Why wash off the luck?
And I had chips and so I went back down to there's a Starbucks here and I got a caramel macchiato.
Those are great, huh?
That's like lunch.
I chugged the caramel macchiato down, and then I went to the craps table.
The macchiato is like a whole big deal. That's like liquid candy.
It's like a milkshake with coffee, I guess.
It's good, though. It's good. At least Artie wasn't drinking alcohol.
They don't spike the macchiato.
It's good to see you doing something healthy and having a caramel macchiato.
Yeah, the caramel macchiato really helped me out.
Well, he needed the calories.
Yeah, no empty calories. Yeah, he needed calories because he could hardly sustain himself. Your body must hate you. It's full of Jack Daniels and caramel macchiatos.
If the E-camera could have a shot of me right now, I look homeless.
I'm sure.
You're kidding.
I'm in the same outfit I've had on for 3 days.
And you're going to go take those big meetings in L.A. like that?
I have a 7 a.m. flight to L.A.
Well, wait a second. I see. It's 3 hours earlier. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I have an entire day of business in Los Angeles. I have an audition.
Oh, my goodness.
Howard,
what are you supposed to play, a derelict, I hope?
Howard, Artie landed in Vegas at 7, and I saw him at 10, maybe 10:30, and he was trashed. Just trashed.
Hey, Artie.
Yeah.
So the audition.
Yeah.
Do you have to know your lines and stuff?
Yeah, they sent me the script, and the screwed up thing is it's in front of Mike Judge for this movie. I would kill to get. It's such a funny movie.
I know, you told me the premise. It's funny.
Yeah, it really is great, and I would love to work with Mike Judge, but I haven't even looked at the line. I mean, I might embarrass myself.
Yeah, you'd love to work in that movie, except that it was right at Super Bowl Sunday, and you were going to Vegas.
Yeah, Howard, I haven't looked at, guys, I haven't looked at a word on the page.
Look, if it's anything like he writes for Beavis and Butthead, you probably got 3, like 3 lines.
It is actually. I play like a dumb guy. That's the character, so...
I think you're ready.
Yeah.
If you want, rehearse now, because I'll help you. I'll run lines with you.
Couldn't he rehearse on the plane? What did he do on the plane right over?
Oh, he still has time. He hasn't taken the plane yet.
No, I'm talking about when he was going to Vegas.
Yeah, he's drinking and relaxing.
I did. I had a first-class ticket out here, and I got to confess, I had a couple of Jack and Waters on the plane.
He was loaded already.
That was a Vegas weekend. This was real. But you know what? It is. It's very irresponsible of me because this is I have a huge day in Los Angeles.
Have you been to sleep since the Super Bowl?
No.
Oh.
So wait a minute. So you got up at noon and started drinking on Saturday.
I went back down to the craps tables.
Dude, why don't you just come home? You're
crazy. You're gonna.
Artie, did you go to the rock spa at all for anything? The workout.
Oh, that's the other thing. I took a steam with Dennis Rodman.
Yeah. Did you see his schlong?
Who? I'm telling you, it's not that impressive.
Oh, really?
Whoa.
Hey, that's big news.
I know. That's an exclusive.
What happened? You walked in the steam room?
I go downstairs. This was today. This is fast forwarding a little bit. I had to sweat the booze out before I watched the Super Bowl.
Right.
The last couple of days. So I remember when we were here before, the Hard Rock has this amazing spa.
Right.
And they have a great steam room. So I said, I'll go sweat the booze out in the steam room. I go down there.
See, the Hard Rock's all set up for degenerates.
Yeah.
They know what they need.
I go down there, and I go in the steam room, and I'm sitting there by myself, and Rodman walks in naked.
Of course.
And just sits down. He doesn't even put a towel down, you know. He just sits right down.
With his ass.
Yeah, with his ass on the team thing.
Ass.
Yeah, it's just Detroit Pistons ass all over.
Right.
And there's so much steam in the room that we're sitting 2 feet from each other. And, I mean, he's been on the show a couple of times, but he had no idea who I was.
Right.
And I didn't want to bug him. So I'm just sitting there trying to put my head up and not look. But, of course, it's Dennis Rodman. You're curious.
Right.
You want to see what Carmen Electra was getting.
Right. And it wasn't that big?
So listen.
It was just you and him.
I take a quick glance down, and it's, you know what? It's not that impressive.
Good.
I mean, Artie, compared to you.
Compared to me, it's impressive.
Oh.
He has more than you.
Yeah, he's got more. That's the exclusive. Dennis Rodman has a bigger penis than me.
What, would you say it was like...
I'd say, again, I did it real quick. But I'd say flaccid, you're looking at maybe, 3-4 inches.
Ooh, you're kidding.
But that's pretty good. I mean, what do you expect?
Well, you expect him to be a shower.
You know what? This may be racial profiling, but I expected like
a baseball nut.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, the next time you got to bring a ruler with you so we know the exact inches. You should have got. Excuse me, Mr. Rodman, I can measure you for the show.
It was like a quick glance,
Wow.
And then he was doing like exercises in the steam room, and like I was wearing like I had my jeans on in the steam room.
Oh.
What?
The same jeans you're wearing now?
Wait, whoa. You had your jeans on.
I was so messed up that I just kind of wandered down there and went into the and they all.
Dude,
did you take off your shoes?
Everybody at the Hard Rock is incredibly nice to me because they know I'm with you.
But why don't you just put on a robe? They give you robes to wear.
Because I just didn't feel like it.
Did you have a shirt on?
Was your shirt on?
And I had a shirt on. Yeah.
Oh.
Did you take off your shoes and socks?
Wait a second, Artie. You're telling me you wore your pants and your shirt in the steam room?
I wore Lee jeans.
What did Rodman think when he was sitting there and you're in your pants and your shirt?
He barely knew I was there.
Dude, there's no way that looks normal.
But did he? You took off your shoes and your socks?
No, yeah, I had socks on.
Could you imagine that?
So were you just like really drunk and you just walked into the
I was still loaded.
You weren't that drunk because you were probably self-conscious about your body.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, no, I look gross, and I don't want to I get depressed when I see myself without a shirt on.
How long did you stay in the steam room with your clothes on?
I just wanted to sweat. That's all I wanted to do.
But then when you got out, you were soaking wet. You must have been freezing.
Yeah, when I got out, I walked back through the casino. With sweaty clothes. It looked like I just got hit with a hose or something.
Holy mackerel.
What a mess you are.
This was the Vegas weekend to end all Vegas weekends.
Howard, most important, Artie's having fun. Most important.
So you... all right, so then Super Bowl, tell me the bets.
So, for the Super Bowl, I had the coin toss, I won $500 on.
Go ahead.
The over... I won $4,000 on.
All right, but wait a second. Were you freaking out up at halftime? The score was like ridiculously low.
Well, I was watching it with Sam, and we were into the second quarter, and he goes, Artie Lange bet the over, and it's nothing.
Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, there was no scoring first quarter at all.
Were you nervous at that point?
Oh my God, I wrote it off. I said, "There's no way. It's impossible to win." And, the Hard Rock got me in the VIP party, and I'm sitting there just screaming and yelling, and people are looking at me like I'm nuts, and there was no scoring, and then all that scoring happened at the end of the first half, and I just...
Holy mackerel.
End up a few notches.
But did you bet the field goal bet?
I bet, okay. I didn't bet the field goal bet, no.
Okay.
Which is a good thing, because Vinatieri missed 2 field goals.
Right.
Yeah, they have to make them all, right?
That's right.
Which was killing me. But I bet, this was a great bet. I bet the over on the Patriots' total amount of points.
And what was that? What was
22.5.
Oh,
very nice.
I saw that, and I was like, the Patriots got to go over 22.5. And that's one of those teams.
Hey, I got to hand it to you. Remember,
I bet $1,000 on that.
Remember how everyone was saying you don't know football because you're the two best defensive teams in the league? And it's gonna be, you know,
don't bet the over.
Yeah, so.
I mean, 38 is an insanely low over-under for a Super Bowl. Everybody wants to score. You know, at the end, people are... You know, in junk time, even when people would lay back, they score in the Super Bowl.
What else? So what else did you bet? Anything else?
That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Those were the large bets that I made.
So then after the Super Bowl, you just stayed up and gambled all night?
After Howard, when that game went over, when the Panthers scored a TD,
the party was on.
I moved the party at halftime up to my suite up here. I had a bunch of my buddies from Jersey over. And we watched the second half of my suite. We got like chicken wings, and I was with Bob Levy and Dan the song parody man.
Yeah, that guy.
He's a great guy. We had wings. We ordered steaks, roast beef sandwiches. I was like, everything's on me.
When like a Roman orgy.
We were screaming and yelling.
Did the Hard Rock comp you all that food?
Yeah, everything was comped. Actually, you know. The kid who produced the gig I came out here to do, this kid Jeff Beecher, a great guy, he brought Kelly Osbourne up to my suite.
Really?
She was in the hotel.
Anybody bang her?
Nobody banged her, no.
Well, what, did she look at you and run out?
She could not have been more annoyed. It was me. Listen, this is Kelly Osbourne. She's used to, like, going to parties with, like, the Hilton sisters and, like, George Clooney.
Right.
For the second half of the Super Bowl, she came up to my suite. It was me, like 4 of my buddies from Jersey, Levy and Dan the song parody.
How quick a boat face did she make?
Yeah,
I had AC/DC in the CD player live at Donington.
How long did she last there?
Howard, she was in my room for 3 minutes. She came up with a friend of hers. They were both very nice. They were very polite. You know, I gave her the most comfortable chair in the room, I thought. We're eating chicken wings. I got chicken. I'm drunk. I got chicken sauce on my face. And the over comes in. All my buddies had the over too. I convinced them to bet it. We went nuts from dessert. Like,
and she ran out.
She got scared.
And like, was she all dressed up with like one of those weird hairdos and like makeup?
She was out for a party.
Yeah, she's all dressed to the nines.
I heard
Artie's in the jeans. He went to the steam room.
I heard there was a party in Artie Lange's room. Let's go.
She had a look on her face like, you guys are gross.
You guys are grosser than my brother Jack.
But that's a Super Bowl party, dude. I mean, you know, what did you expect? You guys actually were interested in watching the Super Bowl.
Alex, this is a rich broad, grew up in Beverly Hills in London. She was with me and my buddy Anthony watching a game that we have a bet on the over.
Hey, Dan, you're on the air.
Hey, Howard, how's it going?
What's up?
Hey, it's Dan. I lost Artie. I guess you got him on the phone now, but he disappeared a couple hours ago.
Oh, you're Dan the song parody man?
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, Artie, you're on the line still.
Well, what do you got to say, Dan?
Well, the most amazing thing, aside from the amount of alcohol that Artie and Levy consume collectively, which is just, you can't even measure it, you know, by the gallon. But the most amazing thing was that Artie actually turned down one shot of tequila from a fan. Aside from that, he did not turn down one drink the entire weekend.
I'm picturing Artie in the steam room with his clothes on with a naked Dennis Rodman and then walking through the Hard Rock air-conditioned lobby completely wet.
Drenched.
Howard, I was in the steam room at the Hard Rock in an outfit. I looked like, you know, I was working construction.
Yeah, you look like you were fixing the steam room.
Dwayne, you're on the air.
Yeah, what's going on, Howard? Listen, Artie was at the blackjack table, right? Mm-hmm. He was getting pissed. He was all supposed to bet up on freaking JD. He was on a good roll and everything. But then all of a sudden, what happened, Artie? Remember when you came through and you spilled them drinks and everything, you started losing some money then? What happened?
You spilled
Artie, thank you, though, because I bet on the over and lost some money, yo. Good looking. Peace, yo. Good looking.
Hey, Artie, what happened? You spilled drinks all over the blackjack table?
I spilled a drink on the blackjack.
Did they get pissed?
Hey, no, again, I'm with you, brother.
Howard, you want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
I wasn't even there. I just knew he probably would.
That's too funny.
That's funny.
You predicted I spilled a drink?
Yes.
I spilled one drink. This was at like 4 a.m. It was actually a beer because by the end of the night I just started doing chilled shots at JD and you know, drinking Heinekens to chase it.
Oh, my stomach is burning just listening to you.
How much sleep have you gotten collectively? Like, would you think more than 6 hours for the whole weekend?
No, I'd say 5 hours.
Wow, you're gonna crash, dude.
Right in one of those meetings today.
So what are you supposed to do?
I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to have to go listen, you know.
So you didn't even go to bed last night, so what do you got to do? You got to go to these meetings in L.A. at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And then an audition.
Howard, yeah, it's not even a meeting. It's an audition.
With Mike Judge?
Yeah, with Mike Judge.
Now, have you gone to the steam room to steam out some of the booze?
I should go. I got my flights in 3 hours. I should go down there.
Why didn't you sleep last night? Because you just played cards the whole night? After the Super Bowl, we went down, we played blackjack, and then we went strip club hopping. Oh.
We were over at Club Paradise.
You find your girlfriend?
No, she's not around.
She was repulsed.
Yeah, I'm looking for that whore the same way OJ's looking for the real killer.
Wow.
But we went strip club hopping. We went Club Paradise.
And then you just said, screw it, let's stay up all night?
Yeah, what am I going to do? I won the over in the Super Bowl. What am I going to get?
I don't know, but like at some point, don't you go, wow, I got to audition tomorrow. I think I better get some sleep.
Yeah, this is very irresponsible of me.
Did you ever think of it, Artie, or did you just not care?
I completely forgot.
You did?
I forgot about it.
Mike, you're on the air.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Morning, Howard. You hope to know the two bastards. Listen, so envious of Artie, bro. He's got a great job, drinks whatever he wants, eats like a freaking gavone, and still has a job with you.
Ralph, you're on the air.
I'm going to take the over-under when Artie's going to die. 3 years. Hey, you know, Artie, you there?
Yeah.
You know, I love you. You know, you're a great guy and you're fun and everything, but don't you kind of think, like, you said you go to the Hard Rock Hotel, right? And they're treating you good because, you know, you're with the show and with Howard and everything like that. And then you go out and you just kind of make, you know, kind of a fool of yourself, and you're screaming and yelling.
This is Ralph saying it.
And you're
like he doesn't make a spectacle.
Wait, let me say this.
Be very careful what you say. Right?
Yeah, you're in the steam room with your clothes on and stuff. Like, does it ever cross your mind? I'm not saying, like, hey, it's a problem.
But that's
cross your mind that maybe it reflects bad on Howard.
Oh, yeah, look who's worried about reflecting poorly on Howard.
Haven't you done enough of that?
Hey, Ralph, are you kidding me?
You've got to be joking.
You really have to be out of your mind right now.
Does it ever occur to you, Ralph?
What? I haven't done anything like that.
Oh.
Well, aren't you the guy who passed out on the street when you were supposed to be coming up here because you were tripping?
Yeah, but people at the Hard Rock didn't know that.
And don't you piss off every business relationship you work with?
Haven't you gone on several shoots with me where they said we really don't want Ralph here?
You know, that's not the point.
And Ralph, don't you owe me $105 from bets you put on last week?
No, didn't Will pay you back for?
Yeah, Will. Howard, Ralph puts bets in with me, right?
Yeah.
Right.
He loses $105. I see him at the party last weekend. I go, where's the $100? He goes, Will owes me money.
You told me to let it ride. You told me to let it ride. What are you talking about?
No. I said you let the 50 ride. Like, I'm not going to go ask Will, who's got no money, for Ralph's money.
Yeah, I love that.
I was going to let it ride to the Super Bowl.
Ralph, Artie, why are you taking bets from him?
Hey, wait, he calls me up.
Don't get involved. Let him place his own bets.
You don't know how Ralph hunts Artie down so he can place these bets.
Oh.
He's hard to find.
He keeps me on the phone for half an hour, Howard, about different bets, and then he bets $50. I'm not going to call a bookie with a $50 bet. He just never stop punching me in the face.
Hey, Mike Judge is on the phone. Hey, Mike.
Artie, you suck.
Yeah.
You stay home.
All right, dude. Well, thanks for checking in.
Hey, Howard, man, it was a great weekend.
Sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it sounds like you stayed up to take a part of everything that happened.
The whole thing. I'll tell you what, the show was huge out here, man. I did stand up in the same room Bowie did. It was.
How was Bowie's stand up?
Yeah, right. It was 1,200 seats, sold out. you know, the crowd was great. The show went good. You know, we went out afterwards. I won money on the bowl. It was just the whole weekend was just like amazing. It was so out of character of me.
So you're leaving Vegas with money?
I'm leaving Vegas up a good amount of money.
How much?
$8,000.
And that includes your salary?
No. And then on top of the money I got paid for the stand-up.
Right.
Wow.
You didn't lose your money.
No, I hate cheese with the money I'm up from gambling.
Wow.
$8,000?
Trust me, he'll lose that. Don't worry.
Wow.
All right, Artie. Good luck with your auditions.
Thanks, Howard.
All I have to say is March Madness is on the way.
Yeah, I got some steak money. I'm ready.
All right, later, bro.
Good talking to you, man.
Right.
Man, oh, man.
How is he still alive after a weekend
All
like
I can say is thank goodness he doesn't have any more time there. Because he died.
How does he do it? I could never stay up that many hours.
Well, you can hear his voice is a little shot.
You know what?
I can't imagine what he looks like.
For a guy who stayed up an entire weekend drinking that much alcohol and eating a horrible food, he's in pretty good shape, and he will go out and audition and be fine.
But just imagine what he looks like. He was in a steam room, fully dressed.
Denise, hi.
Hi.
What's up?
Is this Howard?
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to just talk about Artie for a second. I told the guy on the phone him his match made in heaven. I've been up all night betting the Super Bowl myself.
All right.
I wanted to come down and see him, but he's not going to be available today.
No, he'll be here about Thursday or something. Hey,
You'll
Mike.
have to get a little sleep before you can see him.
Mike, you're on the air.
Howard, how you doing? I work at the Hard Rock. I'm in charge of the bathroom facilities. And Artie's sitting there at the urinal bobbing and weaving, totally missing the mark, and doing it all over the floor. The guy's disgusting.
I don't know if I buy that.
It could have happened.
Yeah. All right, I got to take a break. We'll be back right after these words. So you went to the Yankee game real quick because I got to take a break and then we got to get to Grandma.
So go to the Yankee game. Artie's got killer seats, 6 rows off of third base. These are season tickets.
Very nice. It's the best thing about my life.
So it's me and Artie and Ross, and then some of the guys from the office came up later. So we start at this place.
How did Stutter and John end up there?
He was in town, and
doesn't he work in California?
Yeah, he was in town because he's dark this week. The show's dark this week.
John had his own tickets, and he took Will and Jason.
Show's dark this week. I love that. Show's dark. They're off for the week. Hollywood, they love, the show's dark for the week. Baba Booey, show's dark for the week.
He's talking television.
Look at you, bro.
Yes, and the Yankees had a matinee yesterday.
So, there's a bar across the street that's a legendary bar. It's called Stan's. Everybody meets there before the game. So we start there.
Great bar.
So Artie knows everybody. Artie knows the guy at the parking garage. Artie knows the guys at Stan's. Everybody knows Artie.
He's Mr. Yankee.
And
I've known him for years.
Artie's whole day is people coming up to him, yelling out names of Italian people that they think he knows. Like they go, "Hey, Artie, Joey Scarmadello. He said he played baseball with you in 3rd grade."
Right.
Artie goes, "I don't know him."
Right.
Yeah, he knows you. Then next guy, it's like, Jimmy Iovine.
Yeah.
And if Artie knows him, he looks for a little bit, then he goes, good kid.
Right.
That's like the seal of approval. Good kid.
Yeah.
Artie's got his own little fiefdom.
But it's all day long. It's just all these names. You know this guy? You know this guy?
Right.
All right. So we're at Stan's. Now, we got there, and Ross bought Artie.
What do they expect to have happen if Artie knows the guy?
Just approval.
I don't know. A lot of times I don't have any idea who they're talking about. And then if I do, I just go, tell them I said hi.
And that happened at least, 5 or 6 times yesterday?
Easy.
So then you go to the game.
So, no, we're at Stan's. So, Artie had a Jack, I guess it was a Jack and Water. So I saw that one. Now, I had to step out because I was on the phone a couple of times. So I did see when we were trying to leave, a guy held up a shot for Artie. But Artie can't turn around and just say, no, I'm going to the game. So he goes back in to get the shot.
Well, the guy bought a shot.
So I'm going to give you 2 drinks at Stan's, but there was probably more, right?
It was probably about 3 drinks.
Okay, so we got 3 Jacks at Stan's. Now we go in, we sit down in our seats, and the waitress comes. So she's want to take our food order. So I'm not really listening to what's going on. Artie's sitting 2 seats away from me. She goes, okay, let me repeat back that order. That's a turkey hero, a hamburger, a water, and 4 Jack Daniels on the rocks. 4.
Man.
No, here's the situation.
Who was drinking Jack Daniels on the rocks?
Hold on, we're not done yet.
Besides Artie.
At a Yankee game, it takes forever to get something.
Right, so you ordered.
I ordered, that was for the game.
No, it wasn't for the game. That was for the next 2 innings. Okay, so you take the 3 from Stan's and the 4 we ordered. Now we're up to 7.
Right.
Now Artie gets up and he goes, I got to go to the bathroom. So while he's gone, Ross and I go, we should probably order Artie more drinks. The woman goes, it's last call, 6th inning. So we order 1. Let's get him 2. All right, so we order 2, but Artie comes back with, it was either a double or a triple from the bathroom.
That's a double.
So that's another 4 to go with the 4 and the 8, and the 3 is 11, and I don't know what happened after I left.
Wow, Artie.
Yeah, okay. So it's a baseball game.
But do you see the baseball game? Yeah.
Wait, do you actually enjoy the game?
I loved the game. I bet $1,000 on the Yanks. I won.
Right.
It was a beautiful afternoon. It was such a fun time.
Artie said to me, he looked at me while we were standing in stands, and he goes, "This is better than Christmas. Day game, this weather, Yankees, this is the best day of the year."
It's just so great to be an American. This is what the terrorists are trying to take from us.
So here's what he's right. If they had a good baseball game and Jack and Water and stuff in Iraq.
What a nice afternoon.
You know, Artie's not blowing up anything.
Yeah,
he hates anybody. Yeah.
So here's where it gets funny now, because I understand that this is Artie's gig at all the games. So we're 6 seats.
He's got to be sloshed.
He actually was. I gotta say, he was like relaxed.
Oh my God!
I felt relaxed.
We're 6 rows off the field. I mean, we're really close to the field, right?
Yeah.
Third base coach for the Baltimore Orioles. Nobody knows him from a hole in the wall. His name's on the back of a shirt, Tribblehorn, right? Guy's like in his 50s or whatever, just standing there. Artie's voice cuts through the whole crowd. He goes, "Tribblehorn, you have no ass. Where's your ass?" And the guy had no ass. Artie went on for like 3 minutes about the guy's ass. "Hey, Tribblehorn, where's your ass?" And everyone's cracking up.
Does the guy hear it?
Yeah,
he absolutely hears it.
That's the greatest thing about these seats. The guy definitely hears it.
Right.
And he doesn't turn around. He's got to ignore you.
And is the crowd cheering you on?
Oh, yeah, they loved it.
They loved it.
They loved it.
But the other great thing about these seats is now A-Rod plays third.
Right.
So
Yes.
A-Rod's standing next to this old guy who's just barely probably making a living. The other great thing now is to yell out like, hey, Tribblehorn, A-Rod bought the Orioles. You're fired. I mean, he's literally standing next to Jeter and A-Rod. These guys make $1 billion. This guy's probably making like 100 G's a year.
So then Will came down to sit in our seats, and Will's another funny guy. He likes to drink a little bit, too. When he drinks, he gets loud.
Yeah.
Really?
So he loves to go to opposing parks and make noise. Like I would be quiet. I'm a Met fan. I'm not wearing my Met hat. I'm not looking for trouble. I'm just going to watch the game. So we're sitting at the seats, and Will's got a couple of drinks, and he starts yelling out really loud. He's like, "A-Rod homo! A-Rod homo!"
Oh, jeez.
That's not cool at a Yankee game.
A-Rod homo? And what happens then after?
Nobody said anything. I thought people were going to throw drinks at him and stuff.
Well, it was just sad.
Then he's like, "Let's go Baltimore!" And I'm like, "What Yankee Stadium, dude? What are you looking for trouble?"
No, what, you want to get his ass kicked?
And then Will gave me the whole dissertation on how important it is to bet on the game, how it changes everything. Because Will bet the under, which was 10.5 runs.
Right.
It means the two teams had to score under 10.5 runs. And he goes, "Listen, you have to bet on a game. You don't understand, because now this game that's pretty much meaningless to me is now exciting."
Well, how much should he bet?
I don't know what he bet, but Artie just dropped $1,000 on the game right before we went in, just because he wanted it to be exciting.
Well, I will win.
Wasn't it exciting enough between the 900 Jack and Waters and the beautiful day?
Well, here, you know what?
Now he has to have a reason to stay up.
You see, I put up 2,200 to win 1,000 because the Yankees were heavily favored.
Right.
So that made it very interesting.
Right.
But
Will won his bet.
Yeah.
But there were times when the bases were loaded, and there were none out, and he's just like sweating.
Right.
Because one swing at the bat,
that's fun.
4 more runs.
Yeah, that makes it interesting.
That sounds like a good day.
The good thing about going with Ross, too, is every time I heckled the third base coach, there was a period at the end of it with a, "How are you?"
Right.
So are you guys sitting with John, or was he...
No, he was a couple of rows behind us.
Right. How does he get good seats?
John, has tickets somehow. I'm not sure how, but he has seats.
Gary says he's a big name dropper now.
What name is he dropping?
He goes, who's on the show? It's really cool. Maria Shriver. She came looking for me too, and when she left, she's like, "Goodbye, John." By the way, Angelina Jolie. Oh my God. Oh my God. And who's the other one? Who's the girl that does the voice of Shrek?
Cameron Diaz.
Cameron Diaz. Oh my, you have to see her. It's unbelievable. And then he's just someone else who lives in the neighborhood.
Oh yeah. Who lives near him in L.A.
Oh, so now he's dropping all the neighbors' names.
I live right across the street from Gary Sinise. I hear him playing the drums every night. You like that movie, Like Mike? The guy who wrote it lives next door.
Wow.
I am the lighting director from Lord of the Rings. The other day, I saw Madonna.
Big name dropper.
I would have invited her in, but we were dark. He's got a weird move too. He's wearing shorts yesterday, and he's still got that big, giant, thick wallet, but no pockets.
Yeah.
So he makes everybody hold his stuff. It's just funny. He's like, "Here, Will, put my wallet in your pocket." He makes everyone hold his stuff. It's a funny
What is that?
Slave. And I said, you know what's going to happen? You're going to forget your wallet, then you're going to make somebody FedEx it back to L.A. It's always an issue.
Yeah, right. It's all about him. That's weird.
His wallet and his phone and his cigarettes, everyone...
Yeah, he's got all this stuff and he has no place to put it.
Yeah.
It is. There wasn't a change in that at all.
Big mess.
Same enormous wallet. He's got an enormous...
Yeah, it's really like 3 or 4 inches thick. I don't know what's in it.
Yeah, there's never any money in it.
No money.
Yeah. I don't have any money.
Artie, could you pick this up, please?
Why would you want someone to hold your wallet? Like, what do you do?
But that's why he was always forgetting and losing stuff.
He did pick up we all stuffed into a gypsy cab at the end of the...
What's going on with Belmont?
I'm going Saturday, definitely.
Well, I wouldn't want to be any part of that.
I was going to go, but the race starts so much later than I thought.
Yeah, it's a late race.
6:40.
Just too much.
It's going to be nuts, man, because a horse is, going for the Triple Crown.
It is going to be. It's very exciting to be there at that time.
They're expecting 150,000.
And Howard, you have never seen a horse treated like that. It's like the horse is Mick Jagger.
When the horse left Philadelphia,
but isn't this horse like a Seabiscuit? Didn't he get like his face messed up?
Got his face smashed in.
And he doesn't have great bloodlines.
And he was never going to be able to run again after he got his face smashed in.
There's a weird story too, where the original owner was killed, and the guy that half owned the horse wanted to get out of racing because he was so upset about the guy being killed. So he got rid of all of his horses except for 2 or 3. And this is one
and
of
then
them.
there's a trainer issue too. It's all crazy.
But his face got smashed in. It was fractured and everything, and then he recovered.
The odds right now are 2 to 5.
But they say
heavily
he's a
favored.
Great horse with a great heart.
He's not going to win.
But Robin's right.
So?
They never win.
It does happen. It
Very
does happen,
rarely.
and he has never lost a race.
He will not win.
Last Triple Crown winner
He will win. How much you want to bet?
Name it.
I'll bet you $1,000.
No. Because I mean,
100 then.
And horses don't know they're the favorite. They don't know.
He doesn't care about that.
Yeah, no, he's just a good runner.
He just likes to run.
Yeah.
But Robin was right. Like, the horse left Philadelphia on Thursday to come up to Belmont. I think there was like a police escort and helicopters following it, and camera crews. That's what they had. They had 2 live camera crews following his trip to Belmont.
Yeah, he's not going to win.
And then when they're there at wherever Belmont is, he's got guards around the clock. He gets special everything. He has a horse that they just keep just to pal around with him. He has to have his own buddy. And when they bring him out, there will be police around him like he's the president of the United States.
Wow.
A lot of money.
Well, because you know what they do to those horses? They sponge them. They stick sponges up their nose. That's what they did to Seabiscuit. They shove sponges up their nose so that when they're running, they can't breathe and they can't run as fast.
Yeah. Who does that? The competition?
Yeah, it's been done.
Hey, I got to take a break. When we come back, we got to do Beat the Juice. A grandmother is going to play for her grandson to get a porn star to go to the prom. I know, it's complicated, isn't it? And we have a whole bunch of other stuff, too, and we'll be back right after these words.
Hi, Howard. It's Debbie from Philadelphia. How you doing?
Hey, now.
I'm on my way to work now, and all of a sudden you were talking about the woman that you shared with Sly, and I think YFP turned you into Warren Zevon for a few minutes.
Wow.
Yeah,
are you sure? Maybe it's probably your radio. Your tuner. Yeah. Tune back into us.
Oh, no, I have you on. It's release in the morning.
Oh, sorry. I must cut you off. Hey, Jank, so you're on. You're in Philly.
Yeah, she's crazy. I'm hearing the whole show. It's fine.
No, right when he was saying they shared the same woman. Warren Zevon.
I can hear the whole show.
Oh, come on now.
Hey, Howard.
Come on now.
Hey, Howard.
Yeah.
Today is the 10th anniversary of the Rosie O'Donnell call that I did.
Is that right?
Yeah. You have it there?
Yeah, but you always do this to me. I'm in the middle of. I'm going to do a whole bunch of bits here, and then you throw in a bit.
Well, don't pay attention to that. The show's getting out fine here in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
you don't have to call her name. She was just trying to point out something. She thought it had happened.
Yeah, she's one of my loyal listeners.
Well, Janks panics when he's got nowhere to go. He just yells out a name.
Well, if she's a loyal listener, then I apologize.
Yeah, I mean, here's a woman who's just trying to help us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can't just run and tell you that because then it's like if it's not true, then people panic and white people, YSP phone calls to them.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Jank's 10th anniversary of a big call for him.
Yep.
Speaking of Rosie O'Donnell, did you see that she's going to be on Queer as Folk this year as Sharon Gless's love interest?
Oy, the two of them?
I said, what? Who's going to tune in for that?
Wow.
Man, I can't wait to see.
You got to admire Rosie O'Donnell in some ways. I mean, you really do.
I do admire her, but I don't want to see her and Sharon Gless together.
I'm just saying, imagine like she just walked away from that talk show. That thing was money in the bank.
But she was living a lie, Howard. Her life was miserable.
Well, Ellen DeGeneres says she's a lesbian and she's doing fine.
Rosie couldn't do it.
She's just like, you know what? I've had enough work and I'm leaving. I mean, who the hell says they have enough work when you're making that kind of bread?
Again, you're not taking into consideration that she couldn't really live her life the way she wanted to.
What, sit there with those kids in a house?
Yeah,
wow.
And be with her life mate and walk around holding hands and get the haircut she wanted. You know, she butched up her hair and everything.
I guess she just couldn't take the pressure anymore. She just wanted to live a nice family life.
And a nice gay family life.
Yeah, and not have to deal with everybody commenting on her.
If she was, you know, hetero, I'm sure she'd still be doing the show.
You think?
Yeah.
I just admire anyone who can walk away.
But she didn't. It was more of a force than I just want to give this up.
I almost did the walk away. If the satellite deal hadn't come down, I would have walked away from this.
But yours was more of a force than a walk away too.
Yeah. Well, look, I could always continue doing half a show.
But you don't want to. It's just killing you.
I didn't want to. I really didn't.
I'm thinking about walking away because I might have enough money for the rest of my life if I'm 39.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I would.
Because last night Beth and I were having dinner. I said, Artie's going to soon. And she goes, yeah, I know. And I said...
So I'm thinking about retiring because I might have, if in 3 years I have a way enough money for the rest of my life. Like I can live like a king.
You could not work at all.
If you continue to drink, if you continue to drink the way you're drinking, something's got to give health-wise.
In other words, I bet you I got enough money.
You're smart.
In the last 10 years.
But here's the thing. What if you stop drinking?
And it doesn't happen. No. What if he continues to drink and lives through all of his money and doesn't die?
What if he stops drinking all of a sudden?
Without getting into anybody's...
No, if he continues to drink, he's going to die.
Without getting into anybody's worth.
That does not necessarily compute.
Without getting into anybody's worth. All right, net worth.
Right.
Okay. What would you say, how much money would a person need to live in this area comfortably for 10 years without working?
For 10 years?
Yeah.
Without working?
Without working.
You own your house?
Yeah.
Okay. 20 billion? We got a private jet in this scenario? No. Okay, just to live your life, food,
in the New York City
entertainment.
Area.
Okay, I'm going to tell you what you'd need. You would need, I mean, with your lifestyle, because you're not a big spender.
Right.
If you had $1 million.
Really?
Nah,
Why
I'd say
not?
more.
Why? 3 years?
Let's say he still wants to have a fun time.
I mean, you're thinking like a guy.
No,
you're thinking like a guy who wants to save money.
I don't have.
No.
If he lives 3 years, it's $350,000 a year.
I don't have. I'm talking about living
10 years.
Oh, 10 years. So you're optimistic.
To live a decade. Yeah, I'm very optimistic.
To live 10 years.
I'd say he needs about $2 million.
No, you need $2 million.
$2 million net worth?
Yeah. Cash money, so you got interest.
Right. Okay.
Well, look at you.
Wow.
Here's
based on that, I'm thinking about walking away.
Well, here's the sad situation.
Because I don't want to work the last 10 years of my life.
Here's the sad situation.
You know what I mean?
What if you live?
That's my point. If he lives, he's going to be in trouble.
I'll deal with it. Believe me, if I'm still alive in 8 years, I'll make sure I die in 10.
Right.
No. I'll have to deal with that 10 years from now, then.
Okay.
Are you walking away? Is that your official announcement?
I might.
You're not going anywhere. Jerry, go ahead, because you're a guy and you want to make a living.
I don't know.
Go ahead. You really thinking of walking away from this?
I mean, just...
Easy for you.
Show business.
Oh, show business? You're barely in it.
Well, that's what I mean. It's whatever
Stay right here. You don't have to be in show business.
Whatever I'm in.
What is it, Tom?
I have a question for you.
Yep.
Hey, a moment ago you were referring to how America has these double standards. They say one thing, do another, do one thing, say another. Regarding your fight here with the FCC and so forth, they will always have an in, regardless of what the Constitution says, based on the license. That's the doorway. And then your call screener came back on and talked to me about having a license for satellite. I didn't realize that. You're going to get a license in satellite?
You're just bumming me out, man. I don't know what you're talking about. Go ahead, Tom. Sorry.
sleep 'cause Tom is here.
What is that guy talking about?
I don't know what he meant either.
What a dick. Yeah.
You have had conversations with Artie about modifying his behavior, about how worried you were.
I am.
About his pattern of behavior. And, I mean, if this were Cabby, we'd be sending him... He's one step short of having the TV talking to him.
Oh, come on.
No, he's not.
The TV's not talking to nobody.
He's had the TV talk to him before. He's not there.
Artie's not rock bottom yet.
But, I mean, when do you change?
Wait a second. Hold it, Tom. Here, first of all, you're out of line.
You mean my clothes?
Number one. You can imagine how Artie smelled in Vegas? He didn't change his clothes once.
I was thinking about the plane ride back. Did you have a seatmate?
Yeah, but that guy was gross, too.
Oh.
They sit him next to gross people.
Actually, I was in the gross section. This guy was gross.
No, here's the thing. I've said to Artie, nothing about your weekend in Vegas sounds like fun to me.
Right.
Like being that drunk, that wasted, and like having all those hangers on and all that other stuff just sounds crazy.
Right.
Okay. Secondly, I've had private conversations with him. I go, man, you drink way too friggin' much.
Yeah, but this weekend was work, though.
Yeah.
It wasn't for
stop
fun.
it.
It was. I made a lot of money.
So
was Vegas last year work, though, too.
So wait a second.
Oh, it was. That's right.
But Artie, as far as I'm concerned, shows up for work every single day. He's sober. He's funny as hell.
And you can't say that about Cabby.
Yeah, Cabby couldn't show up for work.
I'm going to take the... I'm not looking to draw the corollary between he and Cabby.
Right. Cabby went off the deep end.
Thank you, Tom.
Right.
Artie knows he's got a problem, but he feels he can handle it. I don't agree.
Artie's like a race car driver. He wants to drive way too fast, but think he's in control.
So what are you saying, Tom?
I mean, I think he almost needs intervention.
Oh,
I did it already.
I don't need an intervention.
You can't binge like that.
What do you think I did last night? I went home, I had a couple of cookies, and I fell asleep at 9 o'clock. And that's what I'll do again tonight. And you know, and I work, I make good money.
Could you go 30 days without drinking?
Of course I could.
But he's not going to.
Give me a month where I don't have a gig, and I can do it. Seriously, I can't not drink at a gig.
Well, how often, when is your next gig?
Next week.
I don't understand something. Why do you have to drink at a gig, though? Right. Because you got it down pat. I mean, it's not like it's a difficult thing.
Yeah, but this is why the DVD is part of this, because the DVD is this act I've been doing for a while, and it's just I'm going to promote it for a couple of months.
So you're touring to promote.
As soon as I'm done, I don't care if it sells good or bad. I am done with stand-up for at least a year. I'll have to write a new act anyway, and I may just retire from that part of it.
So are you telling us that as soon as this is over, you can go 30 days without drinking?
I'm touring. I got a schedule to do stand-up, to sell the DVD, to sort of promote it, up until my last gig is in Boston on like May 6th and 7th.
Okay.
I'm telling you, after that gig, I bet you I could stop drinking for 30 days.
All right.
All right.
You can or you will?
I can. I won't, but I can.
He's just saying he could do it if he needed to.
But if you could, you would.
No, he won't do it.
I mean, think about it, Tom. No drugs for years. I mean, I even lost a few pounds. I lived a healthy kind of summer.
As long as he's working here, he's got discipline.
He's been, he's a professional. He's
got order in his life.
Except for that Monday call.
Yes.
I don't know what that was.
Come on, I've been here for 4 years. So one time
he was sick.
That could be the start of something.
He was sick.
How do you know?
Because I know.
Like.
What?
Nobody asked him what his weekend was like leading up to that Monday call.
Yeah, it was awful.
I was sick the whole weekend.
Were you sick or were you drinking?
No, Tom, I promise you, I was sick.
No, he was sick.
I was sick that week.
I know for a fact he was sick.
Really?
Yeah.
The flu's been going. You can't believe I got sick of all people. Like, look at you. You're the picture of health. All right, how could you be sick all?
Well, nothing seems to hurt you.
Well, I happen to be a strong fella.
I mean, is Artie doing well psychologically? No. Is Artie doing well in his personal life? No. Is Artie doing well professionally? Yes. Would it be nice if he went into rehab and stopped drinking? Fabulous. Is he going to do it? No.
But I'm serious.
But he's able to come to work and do his thing.
Can we send him to some place where they can teach you how to drink responsibly?
What about that, Artie? Like, just have 3 or 4 drinks at a cocktail party.
I go to that place. It's the Yankee game. No, we were joking before. I'm serious.
At the Yankee game, they teach you how to drink responsibly?
Well, where you drink responsibly is church. You just have the one wine. One thing of wine. I'm serious. Like, I don't know if I went to a doctor and he said, "Look, man, you might have about 10 years," I would consider stopping working because I have enough.
Drinking.
I have enough money to live for 10 years. The way
he thinks that, like, if he stops working, that'll be the answer to his problems. He doesn't realize there is no answer to your problems. There's no dream scenario. Like, I always think, like, if I built a perfect dream house and got out of the business, it'd still be the same
It's you.
whack
We're
job.
taking you to the place, the new place.
Yeah.
Like, I could go to a county in Jersey, kind of where I grew up, and buy a nice house, own it completely with a pool in the back and everything, and just
then become the town drunk? Is that what you...
Well, I'm the town drunk anyway.
All right. I don't want to hear any more about it. Okay. It's bumming me out. I want to take a break. I want to do the news. Sylvester Stallone evidently not coming in.
That's a bummer.
Now, why wouldn't somebody call us? We've been promoting that for some time now. They could have called and said, "What are you talking about? We're not going to be there."
What is it, Ralph?
Gary says
a couple things real quick. I don't think Artie has a drinking problem.
Because you have problems.
No, he can function during... Artie, do you drink during the week?
No, I don't.
Yes, he does.
I have in the past, but not 85% of the time when I'm doing this job, I don't drink. I don't drink during the week.
When he has a gig, he has some drinks and he has fun. He's up there. It makes him funnier sometimes if he doesn't drink too much. But
right. There's a perfect amount I have in me where it's okay, but sometimes it's too much.
No, he's got a drinking problem.
No one's arguing that.
No.
But
Ralph is.
Oh, Ralph is. Thanks.
Yeah, I am. How so?
Because here, I'll explain it to you.
Does he show up to work?
No, that's not the answer.
Is he drunk at work?
He binge drinks.
He blacks out.
He blacks out, can't remember stuff. He drinks. He doesn't go to sleep for like days, just drinking.
And it affects his relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And Ralph, really, in Vegas last year, do you think that was the behavior of a person who's got it under control? Seriously.
The guy had to be in a wheelchair.
Well, Artie does things to excess. You know,
that's called a problem.
He drinks to excess. It's not necessarily a drinking problem. He just does things to excess.
Right.
He's not going to kill himself on booze.
You don't know that.
He does coke to excess when he does it. You know what I mean?
When I used to do it.
When you used to do it.
Ralph, please. You talking about mental health is like me talking about being short.
Real quick.
All right.
You know, you're talking about these broadcasters and whatnot kind of kowtowing to the pressure and not not doing anything racy in the Super Bowl commercials and whatnot. But you're sort of giving up too. I mean, you're going to satellite.
I don't see it that way. I see it as I'm creating a whole new avenue for broadcasters to be able. What? I could sit here. I can't fight the FCC. I'm not the one being fined.
How can he fight it all by himself?
No, you can't, and neither can they.
Giving up would be going away and letting them have their way with me. I think I've checkmated them. They can't get their hands on me where I'm going, and guess what? It's going to bite everyone in the ass if I do what I'm going to do.
Can you blame these people for not putting on wild stuff? Because who needs the hassle?
Wait a second.
You know
it could have all been eliminated if one broadcast company went to court with the FCC. And if all the other broadcast companies had formed a lobby and supported, the Clear Channel won't do that. They won't help anybody. They let Viacom out there on their own. All the other independent broadcasters all bowed. They should have stood together like the gun lobbyists and said, hold it. Stop everything.
If the industry was fighting, it would be a different story.
We're not buying and selling any licenses. We're not doing anything until you guys get us into court on a fast track.
I don't think that's where it's going to come from. The people have to rise up.
No, they don't. All it is one court case. The judge would sit there and say, this is not obscene material. This is not indecent material. Case closed. FCC, you've got to now define what you mean by indecency. And they never would have agreed on it. It would have gone away like everything else in politics does. As soon as you challenge it, it goes away.
But it didn't.
Look at history. It didn't. So I am saying I'm taking matters into my own hands. The first broadcaster to take matters into his own hands, walk away from something I'm very successful at.
Yeah, you're bailing.
That's not a bail. Listen to who's talking.
Bailing. Let me see you get a job.
You're not fighting the fight.
Of course I am. What are you talking about? I'm creating a new medium. I'm going to bury, hopefully, well, I don't want to badmouth this medium. I am going to change the face of broadcasting.
And Ralph, you fought the fight for 10 years. Not like
10, 20.
20, yeah.
And no one stood by me, and I figured out how to checkmate them all. Get out of here. And do me a favor. Get out of my life. You ass.
Man.
What a dummy.
I'm just saying, who...
Get lost. How dare he?
You're
That's your pal?
Yeah, that's my pal. Doesn't even know what I'm up to.
So you want to know what happened to
By the way, I'm the guy who drags himself out of bed for the next 5 years to reinvent myself.
And he'll tag along.
And he'll tag along for the good ride.
Let him stay here.
Bailing out. Bailing out is saying, hey, I made enough money, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I ain't doing that. I'm going to work harder than I've ever worked.
It is a commitment, man. You got, I'll tell you, because getting up, I've been doing this for 4 years, and
It's
I don't
horrible.
know how you do this.
I hate it.
Wah, wah.
You're right. I got into this business so I wouldn't have to get up early. I got the one job where it's like a paper route for me.
I mean, certainly, I don't feel in any way I'm bailing out on anybody. I feel like...
If you were not doing something anymore, you're going off to do something else.
And by the way, this is selling out as far as I'm concerned. I don't want to be bleeped and edited. I have things I want to talk about in a funny way that I believe make me funny and that my audience will appreciate.
No, look, bailing out on your part would be totally look like quitting and just, sleeping late for the rest of your life and not caring.
I don't even
As
see
he
that.
said, it would be to clean up his act.
Yeah, and no, bailing out would not be to leave. To leave and not, let's say satellite didn't exist. If I left and I said, listen, the industry has changed. I don't want to do a show that is edited by Tom, with all due respect. It's not Tom's fault. But the fact of the matter is, I don't want to be edited. I don't want my material to be changed. And I want to talk about topics like I used to 10 years ago. The clock's been turned back. And I leave and say goodbye. That ain't selling out. That ain't copping out. What's copping out is staying.
Right, and doing the show
letting him,
they want.
and after all my whining, sign for another 5 years.
Take all the money and do the kind of show they want you to do.
Right. That, to me,
That's a bail.
is the bailout.
And can I just say one more thing?
I could have taken the money. I mean, you know they offered me a more contract.
I would say there was one other option, and that would have been stay and help put the fight together.
No,
and help motivate
you guys.
people to do the
No
fight.
offense. There's no fight. You guys aren't going. You guys aren't going to win the fight.
It's enough.
There's no fight being put together.
And
It's
Howard,
a joke.
Can I just say one other thing
Yeah.
that Ralph sort of missed when you say you're bailing out? Granted, you're going over to a new medium where you're being paid a lot of money, but you said this before, it's still a huge risk. There's nobody there. You're going over to a place where you're taking a risk in your career to talk to not a lot of people.
In fact, I sit there and every night I go, wow, what did I do?
Yeah, and
I'm
how
still-
many people will you be talking
I don't
to?
know.
You don't
that's
even know.
I sit there and I go, man, I'm going to go to some universe that only has 1.1 million listeners right now.
And not all of those are Stern listeners.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be weird to go do a good show and then everyone go, I didn't hear it.
Yeah, what?
You know.
You're still with him?
What's the one thing that could be more addictive to men, especially politicians, than money, and that's power. And
Right.
what you're giving up here
Is power.
Is power, right? Because you talk to this many people, you got a lot of power.
I'm a risk taker. And I think the risk is worth it, but it is. I'm giving up a lot of power here.
But I'm saying
There is no greater rush to me than to have people just turn on their radios with ease and hear what I have to say, and then walk down the street and people go, hey, Howard, I heard when you talked to this guy and that guy, and it was great.
Right.
I love all of that. That feeds me like you wouldn't believe. I need lots of attention.
Isn't that why? It's why you perform.
That's why you perform.
Right?
It ain't about the money. Because the fact of the matter
We did
is...
this without money for a long time.
Yeah, I never expected to make any money at this. So this is, this is like leaving the presidency to go be the king of Staten Island.
And you know what? That's a horrible thing. Look at Bill Clinton. Look at all these guys that leave, and they have to leave. They hate it because they've been the most powerful people in the world, and there's no way to get that rush anywhere.
Right.
Well, that's why, and then we talked about that the other day. That's why Emmett Smith cries at his press conference.
That's right.
Because that's the greatest thing he's ever done in his life, and he has to give it up, and he
Now,
doesn't want to.
I'm going to tell you the upside. If I'm right about my move,
It could be even greater.
and I know I am actually right about it, I know it more so than I've known anything in my life. Not only am I right about my move, that I will have the ultimate vindication. You talk to me in 5 years and tell me if I made the right move. Now, there's lots of people say, let's not worry about him, Stern, this, that, the other thing. Wait and see who was right.
And you know what I say to that?
And anybody who's sitting...
They've said that before.
Anyone who's sitting there and doubting me, you ain't going to be on the gravy train when it happens.
And I'll tell you something. I've never seen you fail. I remember when you said you were going to syndicate. Okay, you did Philly and Washington. That was okay. But when you said you were going to syndicate to Los Angeles, Oh, my God. Friends of mine who I thought understood the show told me there's no way it'll work.
Yeah, LA's different.
LA's different. It's a different time zone.
Let me tell you something. I walked into Mel's office, and I said, I'm leaving the company if you don't put me on, let me syndicate into Los Angeles. He goes, really? He goes, if you went on in Los Angeles, you would fail, and you're not going to Los Angeles over body. I said, my contract's up. I'm leaving. Goodbye. I need to be on in Los Angeles. It is crucial to my career. It's crucial to my growth. He said, you will not succeed. Mel, who I value more than anybody, you will not succeed. And I went on KLSX. It was owned by, I don't even know who owned it at
Greater
the time.
Media.
Greater Media. And I became #1. Instantly.
But
Instantly.
I've heard that story a million times.
I know everything. Do you know what it's like to know everything?
Clearly no.
Of course not.
No, but Howard, I've been down that road a million times. I remember people, Howard's writing a book. What's Howard going to put in a book? What is that? Howard's making a movie? What could that be about? And then you wrote a great book and made a great movie.
There's no debating. I'm the greatest entertainer ever lived. I mean, who could debate that? Who would debate it?
Ralph.
Yeah, Ralph will call in with a debate. But you're definitely the greatest radio person that ever lived.
You want to debate me?
Robert, who's a better entertainer?
I mean, at different times have been great
Sammy
entertainers.
Davis Jr.
Sammy Davis Jr., he could listen.
He couldn't do
dance.
radio.
Who can do radio? I said, you're the greatest at radio, but you couldn't sing in a nightclub.
I could sing in a nightclub. I've done it.
Oh,
who can entertain?
I'm
not
fabulous.
that anybody wanted to hear.
Yes, Ralph. What is it? What do you want?
Frank Sinatra.
What do you want?
I just want
I'm
to
done with you.
I didn't say you were selling out.
But you did.
I did not say
You
that.
said he was bailing.
I said you were bailing because
I'm not bailing.
These people are doing with the commercials. They're just going easy because who needs the hassle? You can't go up against the government at this point.
Of course you can. Not if you're alone.
No.
You got to figure out by your own brain
And you're
what
right.
to do.
These people should all get together and form some sort of coalition.
That's what I've been saying. So don't attack me, dude.
I'm not.
Get off my phone.
Hey, wait.
Okay, I want you to tell your story after the break.
I will.
What story? Just give us the topic.
Stallone.
What is about this story?
I give it to you very quickly. And I'm not taking a bullet on this one. I'm serious. In January, mid-January, they called to book him. He was coming in President's Week.
Okay.
Right? We were on vacation President's Week. He was going to do Tony Danza. They were dark President's Week. So the publicist called me and said, listen, we have to move our trip. We're moving our trip to the 8th.
Okay.
And I said, same time? She goes, yeah, great. She didn't say it was March 8th. Now, if it's the middle of January, since we're moving our trip to the 8th, I assumed it was February 8th. So he's coming in a month from today.
Oh. She didn't hear us promoting this for 2 days?
I don't know.
2 days, weeks.
Yeah, it's been weeks.
We talked about this last week.
Didn't actually give the date, though, probably.
No,
Well, I think it's a general rule. I have to tell you, I don't think most publicists listen to this show.
What?
March 8th.
What do you mean most publicists don't listen? You don't know what they listen to.
They ultimately, I get up late, I can't get up there. Half of them don't even know what's going on in the show sometimes. It's a weird
but
thing.
don't tell me publicists don't listen to the show.
Doctors, lawyers, publicists, everybody.
Everyone listens to the show. So the woman goes, I'm coming in on the 8th, and you don't say what month?
I believe I said February 8th. I usually always repeat back the month and the day. I always repeat back the month. I say, okay, it's Tuesday, February 8th at 8:30.
All right, listen, so Sylvester Stallone
He's coming in a month.
In a month, we'll see him.
All right, so let's go back to promoting.
This is just great. This is great early promotion. That's
All right, I got to take a break. We're going to do the news. My head's going to explode. So I need to get done.
And it is that Catholic woman in Washington's favorite section of the show.
Right.
But she won't hear it.
In D.C., they won't hear it. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after. What do you think of them taking us off the air in D.C.?
That sucks.
We run you until 10:30, 11 o'clock. Whenever you're done, we're done with the show.
Why do you think they're doing? Have you looked into it at all?
It's not going to do me any good to look into it. It's not my decision.
No, I know that. I know it. I'm just asking you as a member of the.
I'm telling you, I'm here for. I'm with this show for as long as this show wants to be on the air. If you want to be on the air until noon today, we're going to air the show.
But what do you
Where are
think?
these decisions coming from, Tom?
Joel.
I don't know. Well, I don't know if it's Joel. It may be the local station manager. It may be the
Who is the local station manager in Washington?
His name is Michael Hughes.
You think it's coming from him?
I don't know.
Don't you think he's making a mistake, pissing off the audience? If he's developing a new morning show?
Like I said, I'm saying this morning show is on our air until you're.
No, I know that our show is on.
So that's my answer.
I just wonder, as a company, don't the people who who run the stations get together and talk about what they're going to do and how they're feeling about this?
If you ran DC, would you do that?
If probably not, but I'm not there, so I don't know.
So you disagree with his decision?
I'm not.
You're saying that
you're
you would...
dragging me into this. Like
all right.
That, okay?
We'll be back right after these words. Here's one about Artie and his girlfriend Dana. Did they break up because Artie never talks about her anymore?
I think they're still together.
Yeah, what does that mean? What am I supposed to just inject everything in my life into the show?
She was not at the concert with you.
Well, she was sick. All her kids got the flu. She got the flu.
Oh, she's got that new flu?
Yeah.
Well, you said she had a huge fever.
She was feeling really bad. She had a fever Friday and Saturday.
Beth called to see how she was. She says, I don't know what Artie's talking about. I did not have a fever.
Is that true?
Really?
Yeah. You don't even...
Wow. She told me she had a fever Saturday.
She said she did. She had a cold.
She told me she talked to Beth.
Right.
Did you go over and take care of her?
No, I don't want to get the flu.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm glad you didn't bring her around.
Wait a minute. No. You did not bring her around, but did you go take her some soup? Did you do anything?
I asked her, and she said, no, I don't need anything. She's got a dog there.
Artie won't go over her house because she has a dog.
I go over there.
No, you don't. You hate the dog.
It's a big dog, man.
He hates dogs, and he's completely afraid of them.
I hate dogs.
He's germphobic.
I'm a little skeeved out.
Yeah, he won't touch a dog.
I don't like them next to where I'm eating.
And meanwhile, his girlfriend was studying to be a vet. Her whole life is animals.
Animals. She loves them.
She is a huge animal.
So she wants to be with the dog. Artie won't go over with the dog. I think something's up.
Yeah.
No, look, we're having a very nice time together.
But how are you going to resolve this pet issue?
That is, I'll tell you. You know what? You think that's a little thing. It is. It's an issue. She got a big dog.
We had a sponsor that used to hook people up who love other animals. They had a dating service for animal lovers.
I used to laugh, and Artie never said anything.
Yeah, he's got a problem.
Living this nightmare.
No, it's not a nightmare.
Have you said to her, why'd you get a dog? It's screwing me up.
She loves dogs. I said you should do what makes you happy. If you're happy having a dog, you should definitely get one. I said, I'm just not going to come over that much. You got to come over here.
So how often do you see her?
Enormously selfish thing. A lot, because she comes over to my place a lot. That's what I was.
When's the last time she was over?
Right before she got sick.
So when was that?
5 days ago? 6 days ago, maybe?
So you haven't seen her for 6 days?
I haven't seen her in 6 days. But she was sick.
Have you ever stayed in the house since the dog has been there?
The dog's never been to my place. No,
I said, have you stayed at her house since the dog has been there?
Yes, I've been over there.
How many times?
I mean, I haven't slept there.
That's what I'm asking. You won't sleep there.
I went there and I hang out. We watch TV.
How can you say you like dogs?
I like dogs. Like, if I see a dog in a park...
Like a picture.
No, if I see a dog... I played with dogs in the park where you throw the ball at a dog and catch it. Like, I like that, but then I don't want to come in where I live.
All right. I don't like the sound of this.
Oh, come on.
Because she got the dog since they've been dating, is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Yes.
What is that? You think that's a hostile?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you don't like dogs, you can't be in a house with dogs. She got a dog. I mean, she don't want to be with you, dude.
She's saying stay away.
That's what it means to me.
You think so?
Well, wait a second. I'm dating a chick. We're together all the time. Things are going great.
Right.
She says, I'm thinking of getting a dog. I go, listen, if you get a dog, I can't even be over here. I hate dogs. Whatever it is, I freak out over dogs. And then she goes and gets a dog. What is she telling you?
Well, you're right about that, but in a way, we had that conversation, and I don't want to tell anybody what to do with their lives.
But she knows you won't be there with the dog.
So she chose the dog over you.
I said, if you want to get a dog, you get a dog, and it can be, obviously, it's never coming to my apartment.
But, Artie, do you hear what is being said here?
Unless you get a little dog.
And she's saying...
she went and got a big dog.
And then she's not coming. Is she coming to your place, or is she staying with the dog?
No, she comes to my place. Sure.
How often?
Not as often as she used to.
Exactly.
Right. And...
So you think that means she doesn't want to be with me?
She wants to be with the dog. Well, wait a second. If she's not coming to visit you,
right,
she's going to visit the dog.
And you say, I'm not going to be here if you get a dog. And she gets, and you said, except if you get a little dog,
Let me put it
she
this
gets
way.
a big dog.
Let's say she was dating you and another guy.
Right.
You get to see her 2 times a week. She goes to see the other guy 5 times a week.
Yeah.
You're losing the competition to a dog. She'd rather be with the dog than you.
That's not helping myself.
And Artie, for the future, it doesn't look good.
No, first of all,
the dog's going to be around for at least like 15 years.
I'm trying to get her to get rid of the dog.
Are you?
Her sister loves it. I said, give it to your sister. She's not going to do that, though. She loves it. She is in love. She really loves it. It's a cute dog. It's very nice dog.
Yeah, but the point is, she ain't going to see you if she got the dog, so she's choosing the dog over you.
Well, I think our love is stronger than the dog.
Oh, come on.
I do.
You're not seeing each other. How can you be in love?
She was sick over the weekend.
And then you're seeing her. How many nights a week are you seeing her when she's healthy?
4 or 5 nights
all right.
a week.
Well, okay.
But wait a minute.
Of course.
She sleeps over?
Here's the thing. Here's what's become an issue. This became an issue. I told her, I said, you're going to have to come here a lot if that happens.
Yeah.
And sometimes she gets a little aggravated that she's got to always come to my place.
Right.
And I told her, I said, but I told you that was going to be the case.
But, I mean, when she's with you, who's taking care of the dog?
Well, she has neighbors who are very nice, and they.
Or does she come over your place, bang, and then run home to the dog?
Probably.
That's happened, hasn't it?
Put it this way: before the dog, she slept over way more, than she sleeps over now.
Now she runs home to the dog.
Well, it's a dog; it's a living thing. You got to. Right. I mean, I don't want the dog, because
enough of this.
I feel sorry for dogs. I'm like, you can't leave the dog. I hate if you hear a dog weeping and stuff. I hate hearing stuff like that.
All right, okay. So
I'm a very sensitive guy.
2 more weeks.
I don't want. Look, I don't want the dog hair around my sandwiches.
But do you see what I'm saying? Where can they go in the future?
Nowhere.
If the dog is right
I'm going to
there.
get a big, sprawling estate in Jersey.
What you should do, instead of giving the dog to her sister, is give you to her sister.
I told her, I get a house in some hick town, we can get like an estate or something, and I'll get
You'll deal with the dog?
The dog will have its own house.
All right, let me go over all this. Let's move on to another topic.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm going to play a couple of things that have been happening, including Sal's weird pronunciations. You know the word villa?
Yeah.
I have a villa in France, perhaps you'd say. He calls it a villa.
I hate to say this.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
But
in Italian.
Get out of here. You're in America, asshole. First of all, I'll tell you what. You're not from Italy. You didn't grow up in Italy. You've never been in Italy.
Right. I've been to Italy.
Yeah, okay. Here's Sal from the wrap-up show yesterday. Listen to this guy.
Women love men who are successful. So you have to play the success card. You have to paint the big picture. 90% of the time, a woman is not going to be attracted to the average guy right off the bat. But if you give her a reason, like you have a mansion, like you have a place in the Hamptons, like you have a villa in Italy, stuff that most likely she won't see.
What do you have in Italy?
I have a villa in Italy.
A villa. You've heard of a villa.
That's the best. I have a villa. When Gary said, what do you have in Italy, I thought he was saying, like, you're really exaggerating.
I've never seen a guy, because you seem like a bright guy to me. Honestly, you do.
I think I'm a bright guy, but in
Yeah.
Italy, they say villa. They say bene sta villa.
Forget Sal being an idiot with the word villa.
Okay.
Listen to this. This is from the wrap-up show. Don't get caught up in what the content is. Just listen to this word. Listen to it.
Do you know do you remember what that whole Jim Jones thing was about?
Yeah. He had an occult. He gave all these people Kool-Aid and they dropped dead.
Wait, he had what?
He had this occult. I think it's called an occult.
Right.
So in Italy, they say occult?
They say, where did you get that one from?
Yeah. How'd you learn how to say that wrong?
Well, a cult, I heard then it was cult, not a cult, but an occult is, I think it's a combination, it's like satanic groups. They're occults. But I thought it's the same thing. It's as long as it's a group
Sal,
of weird
do you
people.
ever read? Do you ever like take an interest in anything?
Consult the dictionary.
No.
Sal, when
Too
people
busy.
are saying occult, they're not saying occult. They're saying a, and then a word C-U-L-T, cult.
A cult.
And then there is the occult.
The occult or occult is, holy cow! I can't
When I
believe
say
I'm-
occult, O-C-C-U-L-T, whatever it is, and you hear people saying occult, I'm always thinking it's occult.
No,
I never distinguish the difference between a cult and a cult. When you
Holy cow! Where did you grow up, man? And don't give me this bullshit.
I grew
you
up
say
in Holbrook.
villa because you were in Italy.
Yeah, because when you're in Italy, they're
Okay.
like, come to my villa.
You know, he says that like from Transylvania. I want you to come to my villa.
This is the best of the wrap-up show. A recap and behind-the-scenes look with John High and Gary Dell'Abate. The best of the wrap-up show begins now.
On Monday's wrap-up show, we talked about the fact that I caught gout from my diet and doing an extreme pig out over the Thanksgiving holiday. And probably my drinking contributed a little bit to it. And, but getting gout one time in 35 years, I think I got a pretty good track record. So I don't know that I'll change my diet or my drinking habits. If it's another 35 years before I catch gout again, then I think that's pretty good odds. But it's tough. New York is very tempting. It's the greatest city ever. Got the best restaurants, the best alcohol, best bars. So I'm easily tempted. So check it out.
Give us a call to talk about the man seated to my right, who I could smell from over here.
Sure you can.
Can you smell him? I smelled you today, Richard, for real.
Did you?
Yeah, when I walked by, you had, maybe it was your feet, but you had your shoes off, and you had your arm up in the air, and I walked by, and I wasn't being a dick. I caught a whiff.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I probably should reapply some deodorant.
Why don't you just shower?
I probably will this afternoon.
Just put a Wonder Bread bag on your foot and shower.
All right, you're living with your girlfriend. Why 4 days without showering?
Well, we were at her parents' house, and they have a hot tub, so, I kind of showered in an indirect way in the hot tub.
Can I tell you something? That's even grosser, because hot tubs, first of all, it's like a giant Petri dish. I have a hot tub, but also, when you get out of a hot tub, you reek of either chlorine or bromine or whatever they're using in there. Didn't you smell like the chemicals?
No, I didn't notice it. Maybe my sense of smell is not as strong as everybody else's.
But I always have to shower when I come out of the hot tub.
Well, I did. I think I showered once or twice over the weekend. So it might have just been since Saturday or Friday. When I shower, I don't think, wow, I don't remember it right away, but it's been a few days.
But you're not one of those guys that needs to take a shower every day?
No, not at all. Especially the second day. I'm like, oh, I'm home free. I took one yesterday. The second day's great because I just get to relax.
Wait, so did you not shower when you stayed at her parents'?
Yeah. Well, we went there on Thursday, so I probably Thursday or Friday, yeah.
Yes, you did, or no, you didn't?
He doesn't know.
I think I did.
You wouldn't have showered on Thanksgiving.
I know I did there at least once.
If you drove there on Thanksgiving Day, right?
Yeah.
So you definitely didn't shower when you got there.
I might have. Thursday, yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
Because I just know if you go to somebody's house on Thanksgiving Day, the house is usually in such an uproar that you're not showering.
It was relaxing.
You should show up clean for Thanksgiving dinner.
All right, and now you have gout?
Maybe. I'm going to see Gary's foot doctor today, and we're going to find out for sure. So.
The woman that cured my my foot fungus. I'm not kidding around. The only other guy I ever knew in my whole life who had gout was one summer I worked as a custodian at my elementary school, and the 70-year-old custodian had the gout.
I know, it does sound like an old person thing,
yeah.
But I had a lot of people that emailed me after I talked about it on the show that said, people in their 20s that had it. It's a big hereditary thing, too.
And what was it you told me you ate again?
Oh, if you eat cherries or drink cherry juice,
what did you
eat?
What did you eat that you think made it?
Oh, I don't want to pin it on one thing because I ate so much this weekend, but I had, I'm sure several pounds of honey-baked ham and lots of turkey, lots of cheesecake.
You told me you had 3/4 of a honey-baked ham.
It was a lot,
Was that the ham that you sent to the office last year?
Yeah, I'm addicted to that stuff. It is the best ever.
I thought that was so funny. Richard sent that ham to the office last year, and a ham for a group of people in the office is an odd thing because it's hard to handle, and it's meat. You don't know how long it's been sitting out. And I think Richard was disappointed because he loved it so much. He couldn't believe that we didn't love it as much.
Yeah, well, I think Scott DePace ate a bunch of it, but that was about it.
So do you think the ham really could be the cause of your gout?
I don't want to say. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I'm just, I read on the internet that if you eat a lot of red meat that it could cause that. So I don't.
Now, it's like an old-fashioned disease from another era. Because how many diseases do we start with the?
You know,
the gout,
the plague,
and the
AIDS,
and your limp is pretty bad. I mean, I noticed it you walking out of the studio today.
It's very painful, but then again, I could have stubbed my toe getting out of the hot tub. A lot of times you'll hit your foot on something and not think about it, but then you might have hurt it worse than you thought you did.
But stubbing your toe wouldn't make your entire foot become inflamed.
My big toe is mostly what's hurt.
But you said it was the whole foot had sort of
around it, yeah. But I think if you hurt your big toe pretty bad, it can swell around it.
Craig in Jersey, you're on the wrap-up show.
John, is this you?
It's me. How you doing, Craig?
Oh, good, thanks. I was just calling to talk to Richard about the gout, man, because I get it. I've had it for years, but I have it under control now. Once you go to the doctor, they're going to prescribe you something called allopurinol, and it'll take care of everything. But when you
somebody
have that
told me
shit,
about that one, yeah.
But Craig,
when you have that shit, it hurts so bad you can't even imagine it, man.
Craig,
you can't even put a sheet on your toe.
That's how I am. Putting my foot into my shoe is like one of the most painful things I've ever done.
Hey, Craig.
Yeah, exactly.
Craig, what do you think it was that you were doing that made you get the gout?
Well, unfortunately, I found out after I got it that my father used to get it, so it was kind of hereditary on my part, but it has a lot to do with drinking and the types of foods you eat. Because what gout is exactly is it's like a disease that crystallizes this folic acid in your blood, and those crystals lodge in the joints of your feet and your ankles, like around your big toe, and it hurts. Like it's I can't even describe the pain. You can't even describe the pain. It hurts like somebody's hitting you with a sledgehammer when you put a sheet on your foot.
Is there a definitive test that he'll take, like a blood test, and he'll know if he has it or not?
You take a urine test.
Okay.
They'll give you a urine test.
Richard, do you have a family history of the gout?
Not that I know of. It's never come up, but I'll probably call my parents today and see.
Hey, Craig, how did you not know that your father had the gout?
No, he actually died when I was younger.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't aware of it. Yeah. No, he didn't die from the gout, unfortunately.
Now, Richard, will something like this change your behavior? Would you drink less or eat differently because of, such a chronic injury?
Yeah, well, I'm always trying to get healthier. Me and Sal, we go to Hale and Hardy and get salads every day now, and we're trying to eat healthy, and I'm trying to do good, but it's just the weekends that get me into trouble, you know?
Yeah, maybe you should stop trying to put out the mimosa guy out of business at the free brunch.
Wait, when they stop making mimosas taste so good, that's when I'll stop drinking them.
How much did you drink on Thanksgiving?
Well, we watched the parade. We went to a bar right over here on 7th Avenue and had a great, awesome time.
Wait, the parade starts at like 9 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So when were you drinking?
9 in the morning.
Okay.
Mimosas,
right?
Yeah, but then, we chilled out. We went to my girlfriend's parents' house and didn't really drink there. And believe it or not, I didn't drink much this weekend. I, had a few beers and stuff, but we just kind of chilled around the house and took it easy. But there are times when I do drink a lot.
Well, we're going to talk more about your gout, but you also got a music critique today from Howard. Apparently your drum levels are set too high in the mix, and I don't know if he thought you were the one who mixed it, but when you got that critique, did you agree? How did you feel?
Well, the drums are loud, but that, heavy music, the drums usually are pretty loud, so that's what he heard first. It starts out with a drumming thing, so that was probably what stuck in his mind, but I think the mix sounds awesome. I'm real happy with it. So,
Gary, you think too much drums there?
I thought it sounded exactly like what that kind of music sounds like. It didn't, jump out at me. That's just, it's a heavy, exactly what Richard said. It's a heavy drum thing. It started out, Richard's a drummer. You're buying it for Richard.
And Richard is an incredible drummer. You're so fast.
Thank you. Well, when I don't have the gout, I can play some pretty fast double bass. Yeah.
It's sort of ironic that your record's coming out and you can't even drum right now.
Hey, it's Sal Governale, and on Tuesday's wrap-up show, we discussed that Howard is throwing us a real generous Christmas dinner. So I decided, hey, why not return the favor and buy him a gift? Everybody was kind of like dumbfounded by it because they didn't think of that, especially Gary. He was like, oh, what? I never thought of that. I can't believe it. You mean if somebody throws me a party, I should return the favor? I gotta think about that some more, so check it out.
What are the benefits now? Okay, I opt into Secret Santa. What are the benefits? How is my Christmas better?
The benefits were that instead of us buying gifts for 30 people, We just buy gifts for
Okay, but I never bought gifts for 30 people.
But this year it's 2 people. We have to buy a gift for Howard as well.
Robin's the only one that bought
Who
gifts
said that we
for
have to buy a
30
gift for
people.
Howard?
I would. Howard's giving us a gift with this dinner, so I would feel obligated to give Howard a gift as well. So,
Fred, what do you think about that? Because I hadn't thought about that till the second.
I hadn't thought about it either.
Yeah, what kind of gift are you talking about?
Well,
for
Howard's personally giving everybody a gift with this dinner, so I would feel obligated to return the favor and give Howard a gift.
Should probably sing him a nice song or something.
Well, seriously, what type of?
Give him a chocolate bandit, man.
I have a gift idea in mind, but
like
your
what?
wife?
You could be.
I said a gift, Fred.
You could be Scott. Sal, don't be specific, but what sort of thing are you thinking about?
Technology-wise.
Oh, so a real, not something you've created, like a real actual go out and purchase it.
Not a
gift.
naked picture of me on his console like I did 2 years ago. He wasn't.
That
happy
would,
about
no, what didn't you give him your semen one year?
Richard did. He put semen in a picture frame.
It's still in his office, by the way.
What do you think is the worst gift, the semen or the tombstone?
The semen. Because the tombstone you could use eventually. I mean, you're gonna die.
So were you?
You're gonna. I mean, what? You're gonna die eventually. What are you gonna do with semen?
Gary, were you planning? Were you planning to give Howard a gift?
No, but now he's making me think. I was not planning. I thought that Howard, as the listen, again, like on the Letterman show, he gives the staff a gift every year. Leno gives the staff a gift every year. So I don't know if the whole staff gives Dave or Jay a gift back. I just hadn't thought about it. Anybody? Everyone's quiet now.
Don't know.
I don't think it occurred to anybody but Sal.
Well, John, are you going to give Howard a gift?
Well, now I am.
All right. Well, I'll tell you. If we all agree not to give him a gift, I'm in.
Well, I would give a gift.
Everybody's quiet.
Just do what you want to do.
Everybody will
That's my
leave. Get
point.
Howard a gift except me. No, I definitely. When Howard decided to do that dinner, I said, you know what? I'm going to get him a gift. I mean, I think that's that's the right thing to do.
Do you think Howard's throwing the dinner because
he wants gifts?
He wants gifts?
No, not at all.
Do you think he'd be
Howard doesn't want
Do you think
gifts.
he'd be disappointed if you didn't give him a gift?
No.
I think if he gets gifts, he's going to feel. I don't know what he's going to feel. Like it could go either way with him. He could be like, I just wanted to do something nice for the staff. Now people gave me gifts, and that's not why I did it. But he could just easily be, God, I'm so generous to the staff. You think somebody would think of me?
So you should just.
And I did.
Don't get Howard a gift. What you should do is just write, your feelings about him on a card. Just lay it all out there, thanking him for a good year.
Why don't you write a letter to God about how you feel about Howard?
What's the difference?
Or a song? Weren't you working on a song one time for him?
Yes.
For the wedding,
right?
Yeah, I was thinking about writing a wedding song. I thought that would have been nice.
Here you go, a little.
But I wasn't
holiday
invited. No, nothing like that. Look, if he throws a nice dinner, it's very generous, and I thought it would be nice to give him a gift back.
I don't think we asked you this before. Were you surprised that you were included as part of this, or did you expect to be excluded once again?
I think I was questionable, and I made the cut.
What happened? You said this morning that you didn't get an email.
I didn't.
So you haven't officially been invited yet?
No.
Oh, maybe you didn't make the cut.
Go back and
Maybe
double
you slipped
check.
through the cracks.
Yeah, I did. I triple checked.
Laura said she sent it to you, but
could Sal have been left off the list?
No,
Gary?
I don't believe so. But I don't know. I didn't make the list, so I couldn't tell you.
Maybe Howard didn't get the memo.
Hey,
now Gary,
of the 90 what are some people on Jason's list, are they all at the party?
I think I think that the list is very large. But I think it goes very wide.
yeah,
Again, I couldn't tell you because I couldn't tell you exactly who's on it, but I think it probably goes pretty wide.
John in Pennsylvania, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, how come all the Jewish people are arguing about Christmas? They're buying one gift, not 8.
What's that, John?
I said, how come all the Jewish people are arguing about Christmas?
You mean the Jews like me and Fred and Teddy?
Steve.
Yeah.
Sal.
We're all
John,
Ronnie. Robin.
Jason Kaplan.
Sal,
Everybody.
Governale.
because here
Very
we
Jewish.
here for whatever
not Sal.
we celebrate
Not
Christmas
Sal,
here.
but Jason come in there. He was like the first one to speak up about it.
Oh, listen, I'm against the Secret Santa, so I guess that's a Jew in me. I don't know what to tell you.
It's ridiculous. You're talking about Santa. You're fucking Jewish.
And it's very intelligent of you to be talking about Santa, buddy.
And John, Jason
like an
is
adult.
Jason is the keeper of the list, so it makes sense for him to talk.
I'm in charge of Secret Santa.
Okay,
John,
yeah,
John, for whatever
okay.
it's worth,
Yeah.
Santa's not real.
Yeah, get over it, dude.
Well, next we're
Yeah,
discussing
I
whether or
know,
not to have a
but-
nativity scene this year.
All right, thanks, John, for calling in. Let's go to Vince in Delaware. Vince, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, Vince. How are you?
Good. We absolutely love the wrap-up show here, and this is one of my favorite times of year when you guys get into the stress of the holidays and what's going to happen with the Secret Santa. But I actually was calling because as soon as this whole thing started getting talked about, I thought the first thing, exactly what Sal thought, like what's going to happen for Howard. I think it puts you guys in a real bad spot because Howard's giving you guys all the party, and I think if everybody brings Howard gifts, he's going to be pissed about it, and if you guys give him nothing, he's going to be pissed about it. Because he just gets pissed. He gets pissed about the holidays when this happens every year, no matter what happens.
So does a gift always require a reciprocal gift? That's the question on the table.
You know what? For Howard, I don't think so. I think he would just like to give you guys something, but you know how's your exchanging going to go? If it's going to happen at that party or in the studio, wouldn't it start feeling odd that Howard's not getting anything back? And then if even one person gives him something, then the rest of you feel like, oh shit, I didn't give him anything. And it just every year it's something different, and this year is really unique because it's the first year that you all know you're getting something pretty nice from Howard, and he's not in the Secret Santa mix. I think it leaves you guys with a tough decision to make.
I agree, and I think that everyone's going to do their exchanging the last day that we're on the air, so I don't think there's going to be any exchanging going on at the party, but I think that people will show up to the party with something. I think some people will, whether it be like sometimes people just bring a gift when you go to a party, even though it's not a house party. And I think people will start to show up, and I think it will be interesting.
Scott DePace, are you planning to bring Howard a gift?
Well, first of all, are you coming?
Yeah, I'm coming. Of course,
I thought he wasn't going to come.
Yeah, box party. I got
dinner.
the invite last night, so of course
Didn't
I'm
he say early on that he wasn't going to go to a dinner?
Yes.
Did I get that right?
No, you absolutely wrong. You're very wrong, Fred.
Okay.
What I said was I wasn't going to go to a big box type in demand. Not in demand. That's a company I work for now. Their Christmas parties.
How many people?
Were horrible.
How many people would you say would constitute a big box party?
It's not the people. It's the room. It's the buffet. It's the people that I don't know. It's the bad disco music. That's what I wasn't into.
Okay, so this party isn't supposed to be a box-type party, so I assume you're going to attend.
Absolutely.
Okay, will you bring a gift for the host?
That's a good point. I haven't even thought about it. I usually get Howard something, but he usually throws it out. So, I don't know. I'll have to think.
See what you did, Sal?
I got people thinking. First time ever.
Well, I know the last gift I got Howard.
Ronnie, I'm sorry, Jason. Ronnie, what were you trying to say? Get on a mic.
No, I was just calling Sal a stupid fuck for starting shit as always.
How did I start anything?
Right away, you got to start. Oh, I got to bring him a gift.
Oh, the guy's giving us a gift every year that Howard is.
Yeah, but he's trying to say thank you. That's all he's trying to do.
I'm saying thank you back. It's a generous. It's a generous offer.
He's shit and throws it in the garbage.
That's what. All right. Well, listen. If you don't want to get Howard a gift, you don't have to.
I get him a gift, but I'm on a different level with him. Okay,
you're on a different level with everybody.
Personal with him.
You're
right?
2.5 feet high.
We have a different thing going.
Yeah, Ronnie protects him from people like you.
Well, I work here now, so it's a little different.
I've always gotten him a gift, no matter what. Secret Santa, Schmata, whatever. I always get him a gift.
Okay,
even if he likes or he doesn't like.
So
it.
then, I'm the stupid asshole for doing something that you do every year.
Yeah, because you're just,
you're
just trying to kiss ass.
I'm not kissing ass. The guy is spending a lot of money for a dinner, and I feel it'd be the right.
So everybody take him to dinner.
Have you gotten a gift?
If you feel that's fine, I'm in with it. I'm down for that. I just thought that the guy he's spending a lot.
He doesn't like gift certificates, so you can't give him one to go to dinner.
All right,
and he won't go to dinner with you.
So now dinner's out.
He won't use a gift certificate.
Okay, so Ronnie called me an asshole for suggesting that I give Howard a gift, but then Ronnie says he gives Howard a gift. Then Ronnie says, why don't you throw him a dinner? I say it's a good idea. Now Ronnie's saying that probably won't work because he doesn't accept gift certificates.
No, he didn't. I said throw him a dinner.
All right, throw him a dinner. Fine.
No, Sal, go ahead. Come on, organize it.
Sal,
I'm not organizing shit.
Why not?
I was just thinking that it would be the right thing to do.
He doesn't want your stupid gift. He's going to throw it in the can.
Sal, Ronnie's giving a gift because it's more of a personal thing, I guess.
Right.
Yours would be more of a work-related thing. Is that what you mean, Ronnie?
Holy shit, can you guys twist something around?
No, you're just an ass kisser.
The guy, I'm not an ass kisser. The guy's throwing a party. He's spending a lot of money. That is his Christmas gift.
So bring him a box of cookies. Like you're going to somebody's house.
Did I say what I was getting him?
Yeah, some electronic or some
That's
technology.
Right. There's something that he mentioned.
What the fuck are you going to get him?
There's something that he mentioned a long time ago.
Every fucking thing you can think of. What kind of technology are you going to get him?
Something to mute your fucking car show.
What?
That's what.
Come on, what is it?
I'm not. If I say it, it won't be a gift.
What do you mean it won't be a gift?
I'm on the air, you stupid idiot.
So what?
I'm not going to. I'm not going to
know what
expose
the gift is.
No, I'm not.
Howard
gonna,
said what his gift was.
I'm not
That's
going
what
to.
it
Yeah,
was.
right.
Howard said what his.
I'm going to write it down and give it to Gary.
Yeah, I'd be curious because I would bet the farm that you're.
I just hope he doesn't own it, but I don't have the balls to email Beth and ask her like I used to do because I'll get in trouble for it.
I would bet the farm that.
So now I'm fucked across the board, and I got Midget the Clown over here telling me what I should do and shouldn't do.
Boo-hoo.
All right.
Let's all cry for you.
All right, so Sal, write it down and show it to
write it
Gary.
down.
He could give you.
Step away, Jace. Let him do this.
How do I word this?
Oh, God. Can you imagine?
Maybe the gift is that whatever you're writing
A
down.
remote control dildo.
Maybe the gift is that whatever.
IPOD.
Okay.
Listening, just say it.
All right, Sal. As Sal writes this down, Fred. I mean, Sal's heart's in the right place here, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Thank you, Fred.
Ronnie's speaking for me. Now, I don't know. I mean,
Howard,
Sal has brought
Gary
up a valid
Howard's
point,
mentioned
and
this
I
in the
think
past.
We'll all have to, review it on our in our own hearts.
Do you know what that is, Gary? Yes. Okay.
He's so disinterested in it.
Hey, what's up? This is Jason, and on Wednesday's wrap-up show, the guys were all giving Lisa G a hard time because she said she didn't have time to sign autographs in the hall, and everyone was calling bullshit on her. I said, Lisa, how can you not have time to freaking just take 2 seconds out of your life to sign an autograph? I mean, it's ridiculous. Anyone can do it, especially when she's asking these fans to buy her $25 cookies. So we all called her bullshit. She denied it. You decide for yourself. Check it out.
I know Lisa's very busy. We have her. Thank you, Lisa, for making the time. Lisa,
you're welcome.
Lisa,
no, I am.
Lisa came in at the end, and a conversation about why you wouldn't sign somebody's book or take a photo.
No one ever believes anything I say anyway, so I just feel that I'm caught in the middle, that I can't do anything right, and then I'm in the hallway, then I get yelled at, and then Ronnie says, no, you're not in the hallway, but you say hello to this person.
Lisa, I disagree with you on this because I think that the rules are pretty clear. Don't nag celebrities. Everybody else is fine to talk to. And so I thought that the guy that wanted you to sign his book, it really... I'm on the side of Ronnie in the sense it was like I'm producing the show. I am extraordinarily busy during the show. I walked by, the guy standing there, book, pen in hand. Could you sign my book? I go, sure. It probably took 15 seconds.
I've been scolded at for standing in the hallway with fans.
But a guy, no. Putting yourself into a situation where you don't belong, probably not good. A guy says, can you sign a book? Can you take a picture?
And the woman who came up here, I was telling Howard this, who was downstairs with the camel toe thing. She said, can I take a picture with you? And in this case, I said yes. And then I got scolded.
By who?
By Ronnie. Clear the hallway. So it's like, I can't win either way.
Well, wait, no, hold on. There's a difference between clear the hallway. And you have to, again, I would love to get Ronnie in here because I'd love to guess at what was going on. But hold on, if 50 people are in the hallway, if the TV camera's in the hallway and you're in the hallway, if 50 people are in the hallway.
It wasn't 50 people. And he also walked out of the green room that he was in. I had to make a split decision. It was nothing against him. I had to make that split-second decision.
But what's the big decision? Just sign it.
Well, from now on I will. From now on I will. In the hallway, in a green room, I'll do whatever.
Well, it takes seconds, is what I'm saying. It took you more time to say no than it did to do it.
Lisa, do you feel like you're getting mixed signals from Ronnie? Is that what's confusing you here?
There are mixed signals in the hallway. Yes, there are. Mm-hmm.
And so you have to make judgment decisions based on what's happening at that time period?
And also I know Ronnie gets upset when fans leave the green room that they've been assigned to, and I was in the other green room across the hall.
And then you would have walked across. I was in the hallway. He said, could you sign my book? So I stepped into the green room and I signed it.
Lisa,
I didn't lure him into the hallway.
No, I was in the green room opposite.
Right, so walk across.
No, he walked into the green room where I was sitting.
All the more, just sign it real quick. He's already there. You can't stop him.
But I'm telling you, I made the split decision.
Was any part of your decision because you didn't want to sign it?
I thought it was just Gary and John.
Was any part of your decision? Was any part of your decision?
He's sort of like the Lisa G of our Ed and Dre.
Roll call. Was any part of your decision because you didn't want to sign it?
20 after, Ben.
No, I made that split-second decision.
But, so now, what about because afterwards, when Ronnie took the book around,
we can talk.
But wait,
about
Lisa,
this for
afterwards,
10 minutes.
Ronnie took the book around.
I didn't get a chance to come back here. I was jammed all
morning. So did Ronnie
morning.
ask you afterwards if you'd sign it?
Did Ronnie? No.
I thought he said he would.
No one saw me.
Will you sign it now?
If he wants to come back, I'll sign it now, but I'm not going to be here long today.
Now, what about the guy saying that you wouldn't take a picture? I mean...
I don't remember who that was, honestly.
He was one of the Superfan contestants.
There were 3 Superfan contestants. A woman who won, another guy who was...
Gina?
She was the winner.
She was the winner.
It was the young guy, Matt.
There were 2 guys. One was younger and had a thick Boston accent.
from Haverhill.
Well, it's funny. I don't remember. I'm so sorry because my family's from Boston. Of course, I'd remember someone from Boston.
Well, regardless of whether you remember or not, do you have an issue taking photos with people?
No,
you were being accused of having an attitude.
I'm telling you, no. If I'm in the hallway, I can't do anything right. I'm in the hallway. Get out of the hallway. You're in the wrong green room. Get out of the wrong green room. I'm not making these things up. I've been scolded at. They're out of the green room. Get in the green room. You're in the hallway. Get it. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to play it safe.
So you feel like you can do no right no matter what you do.
Yes.
Now, do you think that, Howard implied that maybe you feel you're a little too, like you're above or you have some type of attitude?
No. If anything, I was trying to explain that I have the utmost respect for, let's say, someone like Artie. It's his book signing, and people are asking me to sign his book.
But you're a part of Artie's life.
And I understand that, but at the same time, like I was explaining today, I had to get back to do my work
Well,
here.
that's different. That's one thing. But do you feel funny signing? Would you feel funny signing Artie's books?
I do. It's his book signing. It's his book.
Not, but people are interested in you because you're a part of the show. Listen, Will and Jason signed that guy's book yesterday.
Well,
they weren't even. I think Jason was in high school.
I was 11 years old when
right,
that book
but
came
the
out.
thing is, I thought it was just you and John.
No, but you're a part of the show, is what I'm saying. So, listen, people ask me to sign all sorts. I've been asked to sign Jackie's album.
Look, now it's been made very clear that it's okay that I can sign someone's book.
She got a little bit of Sal in her. She doesn't know what it is until somebody tells her what it is. Do you know what I mean?
No, that's not it. If anything, I'm trying to put Artie first. It's Howard's show.
Well, Lisa, let's say, using the Artie example, let's say Artie had already signed the book. And then somebody came over to you and say, "Hey, Lisa, would you mind signing this?" Would you have an issue then? Like, I can understand if the book is completely unsigned.
Yeah, that's
and they only...
happened to me, and that's like, oh my God, that's a little weird.
What?
It's not my
What's
book.
weird?
If someone brings me, let's say Artie's book, could you sign this book? Or
Here's how I look at it. Artie's book at least has a connection to the show. A blank piece of paper has nothing to do with anything. If somebody handed you a blank piece of paper, would you sign it?
No, we're talking about a book.
If somebody handed you a blank piece of paper and said, "Lisa, I want your autograph," would you sign it?
Yeah.
Okay. Artie's book has a connect. You have a connection to Artie. That's a connection to the show. A blank piece of paper is just a blank piece of paper. I understand why somebody would ask you to do that.
Jason, what did you want to say?
That's what, unbeknownst to you, Lisa, and the rest of the audience, I got Gary to autograph my book for me while the show was on, just to demonstrate how easy it is to sign a book.
I have to call her out on something. I was listening to this in the car just now. First of all, Lisa, I'm not calling you a liar, but you are a big fibber. You fib a lot.
I do.
You fib.
Isn't that the same?
Yeah, no, it's not quite a lie.
Lie is more malicious. Fib is sort of sweet, but still a lie.
Yeah, because I don't throw you out of green rooms. I ask you to leave when I have a guest coming into a green room. I don't tell you to get out.
I'm not saying you're telling me.
I said I
you weren't
need the
listening.
green room.
I said you tell.
I was listening.
You tell that to the fans who leave
and then
the
here's
green room.
another thing.
Who try and talk to me because I was sitting in.
The guy with the book. Okay?
You weren't there when he asked me to sign it.
I was there.
You
I was
were
standing
not.
right in the hall, in the aisleway, right in the hall.
Right, and what did I say
and
to
I heard
him?
you say to him, "I can't do it now."
I said I'd sign it after your
goes
segment.
to me like he shakes his head and he throws up his hands like, "Why can't you
I
sign
don't
it?"
want to go over this
I don't know.
over
but
again.
Here's what really gets me why you're a fibber. Okay. Here it is. You stood in there and you talked to the guy about some group called Mensa or something.
He's in Mensa.
And you couldn't have fucking signed his book
He didn't
while you were
ask me to
standing
sign
there.
it then.
He had already asked you to sign it.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did. That was after the fact already.
No,
yes,
he did
See,
not.
this is how you fib.
Well, that's not. I don't remember that
Either
part.
that or you're fucking senile. Either one.
Maybe. Guys, I have got to go. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Liz.
I've got a couple of questions for you. Where you going?
A signing.
Yell him out, Ronnie. Yell out a question.
Yeah. Well, what's the best thing you did? A hand job or a blow job?
On Thursday's wrap-up show, all the talk was about John Stamos, who said he's struggling to find his Beth, and we'd all love to have his struggles because he's such a good-looking guy. And then he also revealed that Ashley Olsen was into Howard as well. So whenever Stamos comes on, there's lots to talk about. And you really want to hate the guy because he's so good-looking and gets all these girls and whatever. But he's one of the nicest guys, and he's a great guest. And here's how that conversation went.
I wonder if Stamos expected to be introduced like that when he walked into the studio. I think I might have pulled it.
He was in the bathroom. That's always the funniest thing too. He was in the bathroom. We have a speaker that's in the bathroom, And so he was just coming out of the bathroom. What did Howard say? What did he call him? A cocksucker?
Yes, a cocksucker, maybe a dirtbag a couple of times, and here's John. But John spoke about him, like his desire to find his Beth, looking for the right woman, and Howard sort of poo-pooed that and felt like John was making excuses.
Well, I think what Howard was saying is that there have been plenty of Beths. John just wasn't in the mood to be attached. And I wonder if he's in the mood to be attached now. I mean, I think that I don't think he's being disingenuous so much as you get to be an age where it almost gets creepy if you start dating girls that are way, way younger than you. And so I think in his mind he would like to be attached, but I think if push came to shove, I think he still likes being single.
Well, I mean, he still looks pretty young,
yeah,
too.
And he's a young guy. How old is John? Is he like 42, 46? Good for him, man. We're 2 years apart. Hard to tell.
And Robin says that off the air, Stamos said he would bang her, and she said no because of his track record, and the numbers are just too high. I don't think anybody believed her, did you?
No, and then somebody brought up the Jim Florentine thing, right?
Which is?
Jim had some numbers.
That's true, and didn't dissuade.
And listen, I love this because I think Jim's the greatest guy in the world, but I think Jim came on the show one time, and I think the story that got him on our show was that he was banging a girl at a Russian girl at a comedy club over the toilet, and her foot went in the toilet and hit his head on the wall. You know what I mean? So those are some of Jim's numbers.
Right. So if Florentine didn't dissuade her, then why would Stamos? Plus, Stamos is, I would imagine, is somewhat of a conquest for any woman.
I wonder if it's not. I wonder if that's intimidating.
The numbers?
No, the person. You know, in other words, we'd all love to bang Carmen Electra, but given the opportunity, it's. I would still do my very best, but it's intimidating.
If Carmen Electra wants to bang you, something tells me you'd step up to the plate.
I would, but I'm saying I would totally step up to the plate. But wouldn't you be intimidated?
More in awe than intimidated, I think. I know what you mean. Like, oh, my God, look at this.
I would, believe me, it wouldn't slow me down a nanosecond, but I would still be intimidated.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought Robin might have been making an excuse because of an uncomfortable moment with John there. And we've talked about this before when Stamos comes on. He's a good-looking guy. He does really well. You really want to dislike the guy, but he's one of the most charming and nicest people. And one of the things he does, which I always respect him for, was he says hi to everybody. Yeah. He's really just sort of a regular guy.
And it's funny. He loves coming on the show, and I don't think he ever sees his value on the show. And afterwards, like as soon as he got it, because that was boring, right? I go, no, not at all. You talked about a lot of cool stuff, but he's very self-deprecating, very down to earth.
And he also revealed that Ashley of Mary-Kate and Ashley is really into the show.
Yeah.
And really into Howard, apparently. And Howard said, yeah, he's into Ashley, but not really into Mary-Kate. Is that possible? Can you be into one Olsen twin, but not the other?
I haven't a clue which one is which. I have to tell you, I mean, I watched them when they were little kids. I've never, studied them the way some of the guys on the show have. I don't know which one is which. In fact, today was the first time I knew that Ashley was the one from Weeds. I knew one of them was in Weeds.
No, Mary-Kate was in Weeds.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, then I don't. Do you see what I know about?
Well, Mary-Kate has become the more sort of earthy, and Ashley isn't that way.
I would say I sat across from them. I had a meeting in an office in New York 3 years ago, and they had a meeting in the same office, and we sat right across from each other, and I didn't know which one was which.
How old are they now?
I guess they got to be 24.
In their 20s?
I'll look them up.
But does it still feel like taboo when you talk about them like that?
Only if you're their TV father.
And John, he's very protective of them, even to this day.
Ralph has brought this up a bunch of times, and you really can see this from when you see them do everything in the press. But they really are a TV family. They really are one of those shows where everybody appears to have liked each other. And, yeah, John does seem a little protective. Okay, they were born in 86, so they're June of 86 or 23.
I don't like how Kimmy always gets left out these days, Ryan in Akron, you're on the wrap-up
Which
show.
one's Kimmy?
Gibbler, the next-door neighbor. The annoying friend of, whatchamacallit.
DJ.
Thank you.
The skinny one, the skinny one with the funny face? Yeah.
Yes.
There's a whole thing. They had a big party on the set when it was time for her to go to her prom, and they sent her off like that was her family. I'm telling you, they love all of them.
Well, I don't know if Gibbler's part of that, but we'll see. Ryan, what's going on?
Yeah, I was calling about Robin not banging Stamos, and I only think that wouldn't happen because John would tell. John's dedication seems more to the show than it would be to a relationship. So I think he would give up all the goods to Howard.
So that's you bring up an interesting issue, Ryan. If Robin banks Stamos, would Robin tell Howard? Would Stamos tell Howard, or would no one tell Howard?
No one.
Robin doesn't tell Howard anything.
No one would tell at first, and then one of them would crack. And I don't know how it would go down. I would have to think Stamos would say something first. You know, it all depends on your performance. You know, if Robin thought it went really well, she might spill the beans first.
It's a good point.
Could be.
All right, Ryan, thanks for calling in. There's also when John's in there with Howard, and John went to tell that story, and Howard immediately is like, well, I got one on you. And you, like, every time they're there, you always wonder what that conversation would really be and what stories they know about one another.
I know, but my favorite story of the day is that Howard spent the whole day with Rebecca and nothing happened.
Yeah,
like, I believe it, but that's a dull story.
Well, that story's never gone away. I mean, it's been around for a while and seems like it'll never go away.
No, you're talking about two different stories.
I'm talking about the one where he babysat her.
Oh, and yeah, well, you're right.
And I totally believe that, but I think that's funny.
Benji, when Stamos comes in, we were talking before, Robin made the comment how she would never bang him because of his numbers. And do you believe her?
Well, I think that's her. Yeah, I think she's giving an honest reaction. I don't know if in the moment she wouldn't, although she says he seems to at least been flirting with her about it. But I think she's being honest, yeah. I mean, why you know, she's definitely made herself available to certain guys here. So why not, you know, him if she really liked him?
And she made it a point of revealing that it was off the air that he asked her about this. It wasn't on the air, you know, but she made that decision. I don't know.
Whatever happened to the young kid that, remember Robin was friendly with the kid that came on the air that liked her?
Oh, the younger, the blonde guy.
Yeah, like the 25-year-old.
You saying Stamos is too old for Robin?
I'm saying that guy probably has way less numbers. Maybe that's what she likes about it.
That's true. Well, hopefully we'll find this out. Nick in Lake Tahoe, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, John, how you doing?
Good, Nick.
Hey, do you think John has Wilt Chamberlain numbers on women that he's been with?
All right, let's break that down for a second, because Chamberlain said 2,000, right?
No, I think it was
20,000.
Put another zero on that.
20,000? No, I don't think he's got Chamberlain numbers, but I'll say, 365 days a year. I'm going to give John at least a third of that a year. So I'll give him around. So I'll say 120 a year. He could have Chamberlain numbers. You know, he could. If you give him 120 chicks a year.
He's 46.
He's 46, and he really probably started getting laid when he was like 16. By the time he was 18, he was on network television.
Okay.
So he could have Chamberlain numbers.
Okay, I got one more question for you.
Although you do have to put into account he was married, and in a couple of
he said he had a couple long-term
relationships. So he would either have not to been monogamous or have would have had to really do a lot to make up for it. So I'm now taking it back. Not Chamberlain numbers. Chamberlain numbers only if he'd been single the whole time.
Okay, I asked him today how many women was he with one time in one day, and he got kind of squirrely on that question, and he couldn't really answer it. Could you guys see him or his expression on his face? He couldn't really answer it. You guys answer that?
Nick, I wasn't looking at the monitor at the time, so I genuinely can't answer it. But I would have to imagine, here's the deal. John is in Bye Bye Birdie. He was on the show ER. He's in the Beach Boys. And John has, as a general rule, even though he dates a lot of women, there's women, he's a good guy. So I don't think he wants to start telling you that, he had 9 women at once.
All right, Nick, thanks for calling in.
And I don't know I'm just making that number up. I'm saying if that were the case.
Yeah, I didn't see his reaction. Benji, did you catch anything?
Yeah, I think he was being honest. Like, I'm sure it's happened. Just if you say in a 24-hour period, I'm sure he's had sex with one girl and then within 24 hours he's had another. But
I'm sure of that. I was wondering if it was way more than that.
Oh, really?
Like, I was thinking if it was 3 or 4 to 24-hour period.
I wouldn't be surprised if that happened, too, but I don't know that he was, really worried about that coming out.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that number was high either.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that he doesn't want to sound like he's bragging about because he thinks it makes him come off.
It's so great when you have to, claim you didn't have sex with a girl and no one believes you.
How you guys doing?
Good. Welcome back, man.
Hey, thanks for having me back. It's good to see you guys, man.
So what brings you back to the show today? You got another book, right?
Yeah, I've put out a book about Angie Jolie and Brad Pitt. There's too many stories about them in the press, and I wanted to get to the bottom of the story, behind the story, and find out who they really are. And, a lot of media has been afraid to write about them, and I think it's really concerning. But it's sympathetic. It's a very balanced account. And as I'll tell Howard today, if I stand by this book 1,000%, I challenge anyone to prove anything wrong with that book. I'll sleep naked in Times Square for a month. That's how much I've worked, how hard I've worked.
All right, man. We'll see you in there.
Okay. Peace out.
All right, this guy's name is Ian Halpern. He was the book about Michael Jackson, and he predicted that Michael Jackson would be dead, and sure enough, Michael Jackson died. So
what are his other predictions?
I think that's it. Well, now he wrote a book about Brad
Resting
Pitt.
his hat on that one.
Well, no, he wrote a book about Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, and now he says Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie will be divorced
In 18 months, he said, I think.
18 months, right? Is that right, Ian?
Yeah, I'm making another prediction here today, Howard.
Is this the first time you've ever made this prediction?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
no, I've said within the next 12 to 18 months they'll be toast. And look, my book's extremely sympathetic to Angelina Jolie. It's not some account just for the entertainment of the readers, but she's had a very dark past. Lots of, self-admittedly, she has had drug addictions. There's been a lot of stuff about incest.
Right.
And, I went undercover in this book, Howard. That's what I specialize in.
Now, how do you go undercover? You became one of the kids?
Oh, wait, I'm going to tell you. Hey, by the way, Ian, you're straight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what's this new look? I mean...
you like the look, man?
It's a little...
it's a bit undercover?
People might think you're not heterosexual,
that?
yeah.
Maybe.
Are you? But you're straight, right?
Yeah, I'm totally straight, definitely. And but
Have you ever had a homosexual experience?
I've gone no, never. Except
Does it matter?
Except, wait, there is an exception. Yes, it does matter. What's the exception?
No, the only guy I'd kiss in the world, Howard's you, because I danced with you last time. But I'll tell you one thing.
What an honor.
Have you ever kissed a guy, Howard?
No, never.
Have you ever fantasized about a guy?
Never.
Same here.
All right.
But
Fair
but that's
you don't
it.
count Fred as a guy, do you? Come over here, you.
Look, I went undercover as a gay actor in the Church of Scientology,
Right.
and that created a splash. But this book,
Didn't they try to convert you? Like, didn't they say they could fix your being gay as if it was
That's
fixable?
Right. That's right.
Yeah,
And,
Scientology finds something wrong with being gay.
That's right.
Is that right?
All right, let's talk about this. First of all, tell me something. Michael Jackson book that you wrote. Successful?
Yeah, #1 because of you, man.
Did you make a lot of money with it?
Yeah, I did well. I'm paying the bills, and my kid's happy. And
same publisher on this new book?
Different publisher, but actually, it is the same publisher who put out all the editions except the U.S. editions, because Simon & Schuster put out the U.S. edition, and it's Transit.
Answer questions about Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. I'm
Wait a
actually
minute.
fascinated.
I want to know how he went undercover this
I'm
time.
going to get to it.
Okay.
Give me a chance.
Because I can't imagine.
All questions will be answered.
All right.
In fact, I know how he went undercover.
Uh-huh.
He went to the same mental hospital that Angelina Jolie was in.
Wow. Wait a minute. What do you mean? Was she there?
No. Found out nothing. But anyway, listen. At least he went there. He got himself admitted.
I said I was nuts.
He went
That's right.
10 years after she was there.
Right.
Oh, my
But all right,
God.
it sounds good.
And
But-
the mental patients gave him information for this book?
Yeah, what was the point of going to a mental hospital? Were you trying to get her records or something?
Yeah, no, I wanted to see more of the experience she experienced there, because she's had a lot of therapists over the years, and I wanted to talk to people, and a few people did know her, and I was able to just get an idea of her mind frame going in. And I did my research.
How did you get yourself admitted? What did you claim was wrong with you?
Well, that's how I found out before. I did extreme research. The only way you could get into this place, it's at the UCLA Medical Center, and Britney Spears was also in the same place, is by either saying you're suicidal or that you're going to be a threat to society, that you're going to blow someone's head off.
So you said you were suicidal.
Yeah, I said I was suicidal and possibly a threat to society. I said I was very... So
How long did you spend in the mental hospital?
Well, I went there several times, a few days.
Right.
And
Under your own name?
No, I used the name Billy Bob Jackson.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Billy Bob Jackson
Billy
was
Bob
your
Jackson,
alias. Right.
But, there's
Michael
so
Jackson
much
reference and Billy Bob
That's
Thornton,
right.
her ex-husband.
Yeah,
right.
you got it,
okay.
Howard.
All right, let's go through this. The most fascinating thing I can say about Angelina Jolie is that for years she was thought of as a kook and a nut. She was wearing blood vials. She was kissing her brother on the red carpet. No one had a worse kookier reputation than Angelina Jolie. Somehow now, when she walks in the room, she's like a princess. She's almost like royalty. People are afraid of her.
She's like Mother Teresa, except she has sex.
Right. She's Mother Teresa. Who orchestrated this brilliant reversal? Who sat down and said, listen, Angelina, you got to do something spectacular. You got to give $7 to $9 million of your money away. You got to, go ahead and adopt 57 children. I mean, the woman now is like a saint. Who orchestrated this?
Adopt a black child.
Right. Who is the genius?
That's the question, and that's the question I answer in the book. Every time Angie gets herself into a sticky situation, she and her management, including her personal manager, Gar Kaczynski, they do what magicians call misdirection.
Go ahead.
Every time, for instance, remember that Oscar kiss with her brother?
Yes.
Now, let me ask you a question, Howard. Do you think that was an open mouth kiss? Did you see that kiss?
I do.
Absolutely. And now, as soon as the media caught wind of this, in Hollywood, if you do shit like this, if you're gay,
it's over.
You're blacklisted. You'll never work again. You'll never get into a casting room and get on the big screen.
Absolutely.
So what she did, and very clever, I got to take my hat off to her for this, is called misdirection. She focused the media's attention. She checked herself into this hospital, and, she's seen therapists before, but all of a sudden, she's with Billy Bob Thornton.
Right.
Her management says, never appear in public again with James Haven. This was...
Right, he's disappeared.
Right.
He totally...
you don't even see the brother.
Yeah.
It's like he fell off the face of the earth. Is he still alive?
He's going, and they're still close.
Right, but you don't see him anyway.
You never see them together. This was...
Was she able to follow direction? Obviously, yes. I mean, she's not so crazy that she wasn't able to say to her management, okay, I will do everything you say. Her thirst for stardom must have been very strong to cut off this kooky behavior.
Okay,
True?
well, yeah, she's always wanted to be top dog in Hollywood, but let's call a spade here. She does have talent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's had a lot of bombs. If you look at her filmography on IMDb, I mean, most of her films have bombed over the years.
Right.
She has had a few hits, but the thing I do respect about her, Howard, every time she falls down, she gets back up.
Okay, let me understand something. When I read in the paper that Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie did something very noble, they just gave away $7 to $9 million to charities, which is a lot of money, and I know they're famous. But where is Angelina Jolie, as you say, her movies aren't that successful. Where is she getting this kind of scratch to give away $7 to $9 million to charity? In other words, the numbers don't add up, do they?
Well, they sort of do, Howard, because you look at their, they do a film a year, they get about 15 to 20 million each a film.
Yes.
And most celebrities, when they give this type of dough away, it's for a tax write-off. Instead of giving it to the government, they give it away, and most aren't noble about it. Angie and Brad are actually more sincere than most other celebrities about their philanthropy.
Is Brad Pitt miserable in his marriage?
Well, look at him, Howard. Look at him 5 years ago. Look at him now. The picture, he looks like a wreck.
Right.
He looks like he's been driven over by a train, and he can't get...
This is true. I saw a picture of him recently, and I thought, oh, my God.
What has
Brad
happened?
is falling apart.
And you look great, by the way, today.
Thank
Every
you.
time I
Thank
come
you
here,
very much.
She's hot.
Oh,
man.
Robin.
Yeah, Robin. Yeah, Robin is like... I mean,
thought you were talking to
let me
me.
ask you a question, Robin.
Yeah,
the
do
way
you wanna
Brad
do-
Pitt looks today...
Yeah. No,
Would you
he's
shag
not,
him?
No.
She
looks,
would.
He looks like a derelict.
Okay, so let's review. He was married to Jennifer Aniston. Was that a happy marriage? No. Yes or no?
That was not?
Well, they were in love.
Was the sex good?
No.
It was not.
No.
How do you know that?
Because
You researched.
You were undercover.
Over 900 people talked to my researchers. We've talked to everyone. See, Angie and Brad, they're taboo in the book world. They've tried to intimidate authors from doing books about them, and that's what drove me to do this.
So when Brad Pitt hit the set of the movie that he did with Angelina Jolie, Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
He had a hard-on from the get-go.
Okay, so things heat up. They get married. Brad Pitt's okay with the fact that she's got 1 or 2 kids at that point. The Zahara and the other one.
Yeah, Maddox.
And then they start adopting child after child. Now, I'll tell you one
They
thing.
only have 6 kids.
6. This guy goes from having 0 kids to 6 kids. The guy looks miserable. I mean, and you claim in your book they don't even take care of the kids.
Right.
They got a nanny. In
So
fact,
why would
let
the
me
kids
ask you a
make
question.
Go ahead.
miserable?
One of the kids calls the nanny mommy,
That's right, Howard. Now,
so why do they have all these kids?
If your kids would call someone else daddy, would you have some red flags?
I would have a really hard time with that.
There you go. And, you know,
Yes.
I was on the Insider and Star Jones and all them. They're saying, no, it's okay. I said, dude, are you guys parents? I'm a parent.
Right.
If somebody's calling, if my daughter is calling someone else daddy, I mean, it's gloves. You know,
Yeah.
It's
time for
I
you
will
to
step
dig
in
in.
the ring with them. I will hunt them down.
Right. And it's time for you to step up as a man and say, I'm
That's
not
right.
being here enough.
Yeah.
So why does she have this compulsion? I still say it's great. She rescues these kids. But why the compulsion to keep having more and more children? What is
Are
that?
they having more? Because, quite frankly, it's 3 and 3 at this point. I didn't realize that until I was reading some excerpts from your book.
That's
They have
right.
3 biological kids
That's correct.
and 3 adopted kids.
That's correct.
And they're looking for more?
Well, what has happened now is Angie has filed a request in papers to have a 7th child.
Wow.
But the interesting thing is Brad's name is not on those papers.
Right. Ooh.
Now, this is the first hint that...
Trouble in paradise.
Absolutely.
Will they divorce?
Well, they're not married.
Oh, they're not married, technically.
Yeah, they're
Right.
just...
Well, they will separate.
They'll separate, and the kids is the main thing. Now, let me tell you, a lot of people came to me with stuff, and people close to them, you know. Some people were telling me Brad was enamored with Angie because Angie liked licking his crack. He never had that before.
Right.
I didn't put that in the book
Why
because
not?
I wasn't in the bedroom. I didn't see the smoking gun.
Okay.
But she said that's
Lick
what...
the crack of his ass.
Is that what you have to do?
You know,
But
yes,
isn't that-
Robin.
but Ian, isn't that correct? I mean, as hot as a chick is, if a chick doesn't make it fun in the bedroom, that's it. You don't hold on to a Brad Pitt being boring in bed.
Yeah, I agree with you, Howard. Look, it's about
Does she bring
85 to 90% of the equation, and then the spiritual connection.
Does she bring other women into the bed?
There's no proof. You know, some people have said she's had affairs with women. She's definitely bisexual. There's no doubt about that.
Right.
But again, people came to me with all kinds of rumors, unsubstantiated, so I couldn't go with it in the book.
So you don't know.
And I'll tell anyone, I stand by this book 1,000%. If one person could prove one factual error in the book, I will sleep naked in Times Square for a month.
No need to do that. Listen, it says here when Angelina Jolie was 14 years old, her mother allowed Angelina's 16-year-old boyfriend to live with the family. Angelina lost her virginity when she was 14 years old.
That's right.
The 16-year-old boyfriend moves in. They like to cut each other with knives. She says, it says in the book, I grabbed a knife, I cut my boyfriend, he cut me, we had this exchange of something, we covered ourselves in blood. That's true? She cuts herself? Is that why she was admitted into a mental hospital?
Well, she was with therapists even before that as a child. She's been seeing therapists.
Why? Why is she so messed up? What's her problem? What's the diagnosis here?
Well, the problem is with Angie, they say she could be your best friend one day, and as Brad is soon going to find out, as soon as she decides to turn on you, you're toast. But she, as you said, she's always been, you point out in the book, into self-mutilation and stuff like that. To her credit, she's tried to turn herself around, but everyone close to her says, you know, including people in this family have told me, look, I wish they'd break up today. I'm scared for Brad's well-being. This isn't the type of women we wanted him to be around. But with Angie, everyone says it's 2 steps forward, 1 step backward.
Is that why she used to wear vials of blood? Was she cutting herself? And Billy, she got into that with Billy Bob?
Oh, yeah, they were deeply into that. But the whole Billy Bob thing that I say was just, it was a ruse to really misdirect the media, and all of a sudden the media
She married Billy Bob because you're claiming when she was kissing her brother it made her look weird, so she married Billy Bob to say, hey, look, don't you see I'm with a guy. I'm not making out with my brother.
Absolutely,
you guys are all
Howard. She
nuts."
had to misdirect the media, and she did it very clever. Look, she's not evil, Angie Jolie, but she's manipulative and cunning more than anyone.
When she was young, during one cutting session with her boyfriend, Angelina ended up slashing her neck, cutting an X into her arm, and slicing her stomach. She had to be rushed to the hospital and given a life-saving blood transfusion. Wow. That's wild. How many times was she admitted into a mental hospital?
Well, she was with therapists numerous times, and that one time in the mental hospital.
One time?
Yes.
Now, do you get into the relationship with John Voight?
Yes, that's a good question. You know, John Voight, she said at her Oscar speech at the Golden Globes how great a father he is and how he's always been there for her. All of a sudden, she turns on him and tries to convince the world that he was a terrible father and undesirable. And John Voight, one thing about him, like him or not, I actually like John Voight as an actor.
I do too.
One thing, he was a very responsible dad for all the children.
We've all been told he was not
It's
responsible.
Totally false. And in Angelina Jolie's own words, at the Oscars, she thanked him in her Oscar speech, thanked him at the Golden Globes, always said, without him...
Why then did she turn on her own father?
Because he went to the media, he went to Access Hollywood, and he said to them that, I think she's going back to her old ways, and I think she's having a mental breakdown, something to that effect, and she flipped out.
But isn't she right? I mean, why should he go public with that? She is right.
Well-
I mean, your father should shut his fucking mouth into the media, and if he wants to contact you privately and say, "Look, I'm worried about you," you don't take that to public. Please call your daughter crazy.
Howard, he tried to contact her privately. He wanted to meet his newly adopted grandson, and for some reason, she wouldn't let him meet Maddox, and that's why he went to the media as a second resort. I agree with you.
Right.
And
he was desperate.
He was desperate, and I think John would admit that as well.
Angelina went to New York University, went to the Tisch School of Creative Arts, and tried to kill herself while she was there?
Yes.
And how serious was that? How serious was she
Well,
about
she
it?
hired a hitman.
She hired a hitman?
Yeah, to kill herself.
To kill her?
Yes. She said she had nothing left to offer the world, and she hired a hitman, and then she reneged at the last minute. But,
how do you get out of it?
You pay him more not to kill you.
Angelina Jolie says that when she married Billy Bob Thornton, he was so good in bed that she couldn't walk after sex. He had such a big cock, right?
Yeah,
Wow.
Billy Bob's well hung, Howard. He's him and Errol Flynn, I think, are the legendary two guys in Hollywood.
So why get rid of him? Or he got rid of her? I don't know.
No, she dumped him like a hot potato. Billy Bob today says, with Angie was like making love to a couch.
Right.
But, the bottom line is, you ask Billy Bob today, if Angie phones him and says, meet me at this hotel in Manhattan, he'll be there in a heartbeat.
Jennifer Aniston, there always was a rumor that she would never have children with Brad Pitt. You claim Angelina Jolie started that rumor.
Yeah, well, again, there was a backlash, Howard, against Angie after she stole a married man. She has this fetish with stealing married men. She went after Billy Bob. He was engaged to Laura Dern.
Right.
And then she went after Brad Pitt. And apparently, I didn't put this in the book, too, because I didn't have extreme corroboration. Brad wasn't even her first choice, sources have told me. She had a couple of other married guys on her radar, but she went for Brad. And because of the negative publicity, she decided to turn it around and have her people spew some stories about Jennifer Aniston that were extremely false, that Jennifer Aniston didn't want to have kids. And Jennifer Aniston, like her a hater, she was definitely a victim here, and I have to admire her, the way she never came out publicly and said negative things about them. She dealt with it in a spiritual manner. She did a lot of yoga, and she dealt with this in an extremely classy manner.
Wow. Well, there you have it. You claim that again, I said this earlier, that Brad and Angelina are so distant as parents that they call the nanny mommy one of the kids.
And the other thing you point out is that there are like an army of nannies and help, and that they make them hide.
Yeah.
And that they never travel with all of the children at one time.
Mm-hmm.
It's all, smoke and mirrors. Yeah, they make sure that you see them in the best possible. They say the nannies sometimes have to crouch down and hide, or step out of the picture, or hide in the car.
Why do they keep having more children? Although I do admire the fact that they give these kids homes, but why do they have to keep doing this?
Well, it's the only way Angie could rope Brad in. That was her master plan. She was always worried about losing him, the most desirable guy in Hollywood.
Right.
And the way to rope him in is by having more and more kids, getting him much more deeper into it. But, you give enough rope to these people, and they're going to hang themselves, and that's what you're going to see. Look at Brad Pitt, Howard. Again, this guy, he's gone from a GQ cover boy. I don't think he could even make the cover of Mad Magazine today, the way he looks.
The way he looks. He's run down. He's run down from all of that.
Yeah, he's a nervous wreck.
Do you think he's been faithful during his marriage with Angelina Jolie, or is he getting some pussy on this?
Well, people told me he was at some event in Cannes, and he was all over this Sudanese model, and there's no proof they ever slept together. Let me ask you something, Howard.
Okay.
Angie Jolie, and I know you're faithful in your marriage, and you're a very honorable guy, and I respect that, but do you find her hot?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
And even in her state today, have you seen, she looks a bit emaciated.
She's a little
today.
too thin right now, but she's very, very hot. And if she's getting it on with other chicks in front of me, and she's licking my ass crack,
you're a happy camper.
That's happy. I'm happy. But,
Happy Howie.
But you introduce all those kids?
Would you let
I'm
her
not
lick
happy.
your crack?
Please, no.
course you
I've
would.
never. No, I find her nasty.
Nasty is what I like.
Don't you find her a bit skanky?
Yeah.
No, she's not
exactly.
The type of, and
That's
you love
what
that,
he
Howard.
loves.
Of course. Of course, she's a dirty girl. She's dirty, filthy.
Is she your number one pick in Hollywood?
No.
Who is?
Number one in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Let me think. There's so many. So many hot chicks in Hollywood.
Yeah, but who's the first one? If you could just take your pick.
Jeez. Not Angelina Jolie. That Megan Fox ain't bad. But there's other ones.
But she's
I
a
like.
wannabe, don't you think?
Yeah, she's a
Fox
wannabe.
is-
Yeah, she's kind of dopey.
Angelina Light, is what
Yeah,
she
yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah. There was someone I saw the other day I thought was really good.
Well,
looking.
sometimes you'll say Kate Beckinsale. Is
Yeah,
really.
that's the one.
Yeah.
Kate Beckinsale. She's hot.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
And classy. She's the type of woman you'd be comfortable taking home to mother.
Not my mother.
No?
Who is this Kate Beck? Where's Beth? Does Kate Beckinsale eat ass? Does
I
she
don't know
ask her?
about I haven't done
Can
her
you do a
yet.
book on that?
Yeah, maybe Kate
All right,
Beckinsale.
look.
We'll sell 3 copies.
The gentleman's
But
name.
did you get to actually sit and talk to Brad and Angelina at any time?
I met them both, but undercover. I met Brad, in 2004, I was on the red carpet of the Ocean's 12 premiere. I went undercover. And I said right then and there to this woman who was working with me on a film, I said, they're toast. Where's Jen Aniston? Why wouldn't she be at this premiere? Star-studded. And she was saying, oh, they're so in love. I said, I guarantee you they'll never be in public again. And I was right as a couple.
Isn't it true you disguise yourself as a Vietnamese orphan and try to get adopted by Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie?
That's the next one, Howard.
Yeah. That'd be brilliant.
That would have been. Let me tell you something.
Right.
Angie Jolie, again. This book is not sensational like the tabloid for the entertainment of my readers.
Right.
And it is a fair, balanced account. But one thing I guarantee you, I know at this point Angelina Jolie better than Brad Pitt does. He barely knows her. Brad
Really?
Pitt should be the first guy in line tomorrow
To read
when the
this
book
book?
comes out to read this book because he's going to run for his life.
Wow.
He's going to get out of this in a heartbeat.
Really? Because when he reads what's going
He has
on.
no idea what he jumped into bed with. This
Really?
guy was thinking with his cock.
Right.
He wasn't. This guy. It was all emotion. After 2 years together, reality started to sink in. He started to get to know who this chick really is.
But how close did you get to them? You didn't talk to the brother. You didn't talk to the father. You didn't talk. How close did you get?
I got very close.
You listened to our show and I talked to Quentin Tarantino.
Exactly. That was the smoking gun. No.
Ian Halpern's book, Brangelina, is in stores tomorrow.
We got to
big
make
day.
this #1. Howard, last time you made it #1 again. And this chick Palin, man. My book is 1,000 times better than Palin's book. I'm not saying,
You've got all the facts. You do. I see.
We
here.
got to knock Palin off #1 here, Howard.
Have you heard from their lawyers? They say, hey, listen, you better get this right or we're going to sue you.
Well, they know my track record.
Right.
I've been through this drill 14 times before, and I'll stand by any fact in the book I will prove, and the truth will prevail. And if their lawyers want to come after me, hey, I have an army of lawyers, too, who are just waiting for them. And, the key is they have already threatened a bodyguard. Tried to write a book about them, Mickey Brett, and they threatened him with all kinds of legal action. So that book never came out.
You stood up to all the threats.
Oh, yeah, man.
You're not
they're not
afraid
going to
of
stop me.
anyone.
That's...
Right.
Do you think you're this era's Kitty Carlisle?
No, I'm just doing my
He looks
thing.
better in a dress.
Yeah, that's...
Big Tex, you're on the air in Amarillo, Texas. Go ahead.
Big Tex.
Howard, good to talk to you. Listen, Ian, big fan. You do a terrific job. I love your undercover work. I was wondering if you and Howard could recreate my personal favorite moment from 2009 and do another dance.
Why did I dance with you? I don't
It
even
was the
remember.
Michael Jackson thing.
What were you showing me? The moonwalk?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
there it is.
moonwalk. Howard dances. I asked Howard. I told him. There it is. It's on the screen.
Yeah.
I told
Have you
Howard.
gone Hollywood since your first book? Look how normal you look there. That's why I did. And now you've come in with these wacky glasses and that jacket and the tie.
Hey, man, you know what? I got to get a
happened to
bit
you?
more wacky. I'm afraid Angie's going to knock me off soon, so I better really hide my punim here,
Have you gained weight since your other book? Because I'm looking at the...
do I look a bit chunky?
You look a little bit chubbier.
Yeah, maybe I got to get back into the gym,
I'll dance with you. What do you
because,
want to dance to? Give us a song, I'll dance with you, sure.
Yeah,
sure.
Let's have I don't know, bit of... you have something from Billy Bob Thornton's band?
No, I'm not dancing to that.
Oh, come on, Howard.
What else you got? What else
Billy
you got?
Bob, man.
How about Miley Cyrus, USA? I'll do the Robin version. The new one. I like that.
Howard said he didn't like Jackson's music. And he said, I asked Howard if he ever danced to the wedding. He said he never dances to Beat It or Thriller.
No.
But then when you danced, he said it's not too bad.
I don't, it was all right. I just don't, I'm not a big Michael Jackson fan. But I don't know what I feel like dancing. Now I don't feel like dancing. I'm not in the mood.
On Dancing with the Stars. If Donny Osmond could win it,
yes.
This guy's
Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie ought to dance with you. They would like you a lot better.
Well, I'd like to
Ian,
get a dance with
congratulations
Andy. Hey,
on
thank
your
you,
new
Howard.
book.
Thank you for having me.
The book is called Brangelina. It's in stores tomorrow. Have you learned anything, Robin? I think I have.
Yes, definitely.
So
I don't know how true it is because he never told me how close he got.
Well, no, I really.
I
did
learned
get
that
to
Ian gained some weight.
I got to all the friends. I got to everyone. I never interview the two main subjects because they just spew all kind, whatever.
They don't want to cooperate anyway.
Spin doctoring, but everyone.
But I just wondered if you got some up close and personal time to observe them.
Oh yeah. No, I followed her in Montreal when she was filming there. I followed him in L.A. But the key is to get all the people around them. I interviewed so many people who worked on films with them over the years and who worked in their camps. I followed them to France. I went undercover as a paparazzo in France at the Chateau Miraval. That's the big estate that they rent out.
Yes.
And I went in the woods. I was, like a football field from the house.
Yeah.
And, while everyone ran to Nice when she gave birth to the twins, I stayed at the Miraval because I knew all the employees, that would be their time off. And that's when I got to befriend the employees. See, everyone went the other way. I couldn't give a hoot about the twins being born. I mean, everyone would get that story. So I stayed. I was the only guy to stay behind. And
what did you learn? You stayed behind, and what did you find out?
I learned they fight a lot.
That they fight a lot.
Yeah, they're not compatible. They have so many different issues, everything from politics to the way to raise the children, from the color of the clothes they wear.
Wow.
And that's,
that makes it tough.
They're not complete soulmates. Look, I know Brad Pitt's probably listening to this today.
Probably is.
And Brad, look, be a man, admit it went wrong. Take care of Angie. She's actually a good woman who's trying to do good. Most celebrities, when they're doing charitable causes, they're not sincere.
Right.
But
she's sincere.
She cares. She goes to war-torn countries. She spends time. She puts herself...
I admire what she does.
Yeah, me too, man.
Yeah.
But when it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Brad looks terrible today.
Right, get out.
He looks so beat up.
So
Get
he
up,
needs
man.
to save himself.
Right.
Yeah, he needs to save himself. Let her take care of the kids. Give him visitation rights, and he needs a complete makeover.
All right, Bobo, go ahead. You're on the air with Ian Halpern. The book is called Brangelina. It's in stores tomorrow. Go ahead.
First of all, it's a pleasure to talk to the king.
Thank you.
And it doesn't sound like he has a single fact or has been up close, personal talking to anyone who has any real...
Sounds like he's got it all.
To be honest, he sounds very ill-spoken.
He's a great dancer.
They're going to be toast. Do authors...
Are all of those
first
kids...
of all, let me address this guy.
Go ahead.
First, if you could do it better, dude, I'll be the first guy to bow down to you. Okay? No, let me finish here. I heard you. If you could get out there and do something better, but get that book tomorrow. If you could prove one thing wrong in this book, I said I will sleep naked in Times Square for a month.
Where did you learn to dance?
I think from you.
Yeah.
The first time.
Is Brad Pitt officially the father of all those kids?
Well, of the three, there's
the three
adopted,
biologicals.
Yeah, the three biologicals.
What about the three adopted? Is he the father of all those three kids?
Well, it's not known officially because Maddox, for instance, the real father, according to the papers, is Billy Bob Thornton was supposed to be the father. I mean, we don't know.
You don't know.
But it
You don't
doesn't
know the
matter
answer.
to me. The signature on the papers doesn't matter because he's been there from the get-go.
Right, so he's thought of as the father.
Yeah, he's thought of as the father.
All right. Well, there you go, Robin. The book is called Brangelina.
Yes, it's named after my cat.
That's right. That's your cat.
That's a nice cat.
And I wish you luck with it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you just make sure you get the facts straight, and that's it.
They're all straight, Howard.
Okay.
And,
Who's your next victim?
Who's your next victim?
Subject.
I'm not going to tell you.
I like when you walked in, you said, gee, I actually make Angelina Jolie look good in this book. You have her in a mental hospital. You have her cutting herself with blood. You have her making out with her brother. Doesn't sound very good.
And you mentioned incest before. Were you just specifically talking about the brother, or were you talking about others?
No, the brother. They were extremely close for so long, making out in public places. And again, she didn't realize what she was getting into. There's two things in Hollywood, Robin. If you're openly gay or any hint of incest, you'll never work again. You know, that's why we see all these beards for the Hollywood stars. I mean, there's one guy.
Don't mention names.
3 out of 4 people, actors in Hollywood, he said, are gay.
3 out of 4?
Yeah.
Well, acting itself is gay, of course.
Yeah, it is pretty gay.
Of course it's gay.
But...
That's why Artie left. He had a career
No
going.
place for Artie in acting.
They said, you must be gay.
They asked me to leave.
Yeah. All right, well, listen, Ian, you've said it all.
But one last thing with Artie. I mean, Artie's clean, right?
Artie's clean?
Yeah.
Do the book on Artie. I'd like to know
go
what's
undercover.
Artie,
who knows?
6 kids. Yeah. Would you be doing, drugs around 6 kids?
Yes.
I would have to do them somewhere, not in front of the kids, though.
Right. That's a lot. That's a lot to take on.
But you'd be doing them.
Especially when you're Brad Pitt, and you could be doing anything you want in life. Now he's watching kids all day.
But
he's roped in. And this is the case. There's a famous quote from Mae West.
Is he dumb because like he got himself into something really stupid? I mean, he's
he
dumb?
was thinking, with his belt, below the belt.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, lots of guys
upstairs.
get into stupid things, right?
Yeah, you're not kidding.
But this is the way this is going to play out, and it's Mae West, one of my all-time favorites. She says, it's not good girls gone wrong. It's bad girls being found out. And that's what I think is going to happen with Angie. These people got to split.
Would Jennifer Aniston take Brad back if he said, please take me back?
No.
She will not.
She's disgusted. The tabloids insinuate that they're going to get back together.
Right.
But that's totally false. She's disgusted by what he's done. And the fact is, she has said, it doesn't interest her to sleep with someone who has been with Angie Jolie. She'd make him wear like 6 condoms.
Wow. Implying that there might be a disease.
Yeah, she's been around the block.
I see. All right. Well, there you go. There you
Is
have it.
Angie totally faithful?
Well, we don't know. The bodyguard said he accused her of having women when Brad was gone come over and that she was possibly cheating with others. She loves women, man. She was with this model, Jenny Shimizu, and they were having an open affair for a long time. I think she likes women more than men.
Wow.
I think she takes out all her anger on men because she has this thing about John Voight, and it's like to get back at men, and it's all
hot.
Through John Voight.
I love a woman who goes down on other women because they're angry at their father.
That's
cool.
And that's not cheating, having other women come over. That's
not really. Ian Halpern's book, Brangelina, in stores tomorrow. I got to take a break. Thanks for coming in.
Always a pleasure, Howard. Thank you.
Who's next on your hit list?
He said.
September 2010. That's when it's coming out.
What is it?
And I can't say it,
Come
Howard,
on, give me a scoop.
But,
say it right now.
He must be still undercover.
Tell me right now.
If I just can't say, but it's
Gary Delabate.
You got it.
Come on, who is it? Are you undercover right now and it's me and Robin?
No, I wouldn't touch Howard. He's the king of all media.
Thank you.
I'm from Canada, man. When I tell them I'm going on Howard Stern, they love
What
Howard
is your next topic?
Can't say, Howard.
Say it.
If I say it now, I won't be able to write the book.
Yes, you will.
No, I can't say it, Howard, but it's a good one.
All right. Is it Tiger Woods?
Woods is good.
Woods is good.
Do you think he's cheating on his...
Absolutely do.
You do?
Yes.
So you might as well go ahead and do it.
How can he cheat? She's hot, man.
Since she's hot. Again, 2 kids. He's out on the road. Do you see the chick that he's allegedly cheating with? That's got to be the hottest chick I've ever seen.
She's not hotter than the one he's with now. The one have you seen?
But if she's licking his ass crack.
Yeah, that's it. It's all about the crack.
Right.
See, that's how these.
You find a girl doing that, you're not leaving her.
Yeah. That's it.
Or you are leaving.
That's a good topic. All of a sudden, Tiger Woods is as interesting as OJ.
So what do you think happened there? You think Woods was just running for his life and she was chasing him with a golf club?
I think she already got a hold of him in the house, scratched him up pretty good. He got in the car, crashed it into a tree, and said, "Whoop! Look what happened! I scratched my face when I crashed my car."
You think he crashed the car and
you don't think he was going to the range to practice his swing at 2:30?
I don't know. I think it's funny that she tried to beat him with a golf club.
Yeah,
I mean, I know they're claiming that she rescued him from the car with a golf club.
But
everything in that house is golf club. I mean, they rescue people with the golf club. They earn their living with the golf club.
They're like man when he first found like a stick.
Golf clubs all over. Like, what do they just have a golf club everywhere handy? Like, what is she doing with a golf club?
The golf club is used for everything.
I'm on the radio. I don't walk around with a microphone all day.
But how did she free him from the car from the back windows?
Yeah. Why would she need to do that?
Robin, there's some holes in the story.
It doesn't make sense, right? You're an investigative reporter.
The thing is here that the tabloids are saying that he's been cheating on this woman, and this woman denies it. So a lot of the media is saying, "Oh, it's got to be true that they're not together." But come on,
I believe it.
You believe he's?
I believe it. And if I believe it, as Robin says, you might as well cheat.
You see, she's Swedish.
Because once you lose me, you lose America.
Yeah, they say about Swedish women that they're hot, and that after a couple of years, too, it wears off. I know a guy who was married to a Swedish woman.
Why isn't he taking her? Why isn't she taking his last name? Did you ever ask yourself that?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, of course it is.
Yeah.
They call her Elin Nordstrom.
Yeah, that's right.
Nordigan.
Yeah, you think Woods would sound nice at the end of all that.
Right.
I can barely pronounce her name. But
is Tiger Woods' neighbor black?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Could you go undercover and find that out?
Yeah.
Can you find out for me?
But you know, Woods is weird because he lives like you'd expect him to live in some sequestered mansion or
That's what I
something.
said.
The guy lives like
Robin brought that up.
Yeah, he lives like in a housing project. It's bizarre.
All right, listen. We've said a lot. You haven't written a book on Tiger Woods, as far
That's
as I
right.
know.
We don't know what your sources are
Yeah,
on
for
that
you to
one.
comment on Tiger Woods is totally outrageous. You better stick to Brangelina, Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Hey.
All right. Ian Halpern's book, Brangelina, is in stores tomorrow. Obviously, he's excited about it. He's worked all of 2-3 weeks on this book, and he wants to get it out as quickly as possible. Congratulations.
He was a football field from their house in France.
Think about it.
That's it.
That's right.
That's the key.
That's the key. Was that the key to the book?
No, the key to the book. Well, actually, a day later, Brad came out and was chasing a couple of paparazzi who were right next to me, and they got in a scuffle.
There you go.
He knew we were all there.
Yeah.
Who will come out on top of this, Brad or Angelina, if they do?
Angie always comes out on top. And by the way, there's only room for one of them when it's finished.
Is Brad Pitt over?
Is Brad done once she dumps him?
Well, she's a tough cookie.
Mhm.
So far her track record clearly shows after anything, she's resilient as anyone.
Yeah.
She comes out on top no matter what. And I say there's only room for one of them after they split. It's like Jen Aniston and Brad. Yeah, Jen Aniston, sure. We don't hear about her much. It's Brad Pitt who's number one guy.
I see.
And in this case, there's not room for both of them. And it's going to be
fair enough.
Who's able to command the most power in Hollywood and probably the drawing power. And who's going to who will go to see Angelina or Brad more? Who do you think will be more popular on the silver screen? That's all it boils down to.
Jeff the Drunk, what do you have to say about this?
I have to say that this guy Ian sound like he woke up with a cock in his mouth.
What about that, Ian?
It wasn't Billy Bob's.
All right, Jeff says you sound a little gay.
I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah. You don't sound a little nothing.
Is Brad Pitt well hung? Does he have a big penis?
Apparently he's mediocre. He's not oversized. But
I saw a picture of it in a magazine. It looked like he had a pretty big one, and they were saying it was small, but it looked pretty big to me.
Medium, but apparently he was never able to get it up as much as with Angie. With Jen Aniston, they were not having good sex at all.
Really?
And sleeping in separate
How do you
beds.
know that?
Because I interviewed a lot of Aniston's friends who told me, even one yesterday I was talking to on the phone, she was telling me that Aniston would be in a hotel a lot of times. They were arguing and leading separate lives a lot. They still loved each other. Right. But the problem was the bedroom. Every time that Brad wanted to have sex, for some reason, Jen Aniston pulled away. She was just not into it. As soon as he got on that set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, he had paid her.
Right.
She was just,
He was on fire. He needed it.
Yeah, she was.
Was he not good in bed?
Brad?
Yeah.
I think it was more her.
More her.
Yeah, I think that's why you see her break up all the time.
She doesn't look like a lot of fun. Oh, you think she breaks up with guys all the time because they're not happy with her sexually?
I don't think she's good in the sack.
Yeah.
That's what people have said. She's
what does
a
it
nice
mean to be
woman.
good in the sack? Like she doesn't eat his ass?
Yeah, she doesn't look the crack. She doesn't go the 9 yards.
Right.
She's just.
Does she have a smelly puss?
Nobody told me that.
No, but Robin, I got to ask.
Yeah. No. Apparently, she's a nice person. Have you ever had her on your show?
Yes, many years ago when she was before Friends.
Oh, before Friends.
She was the Nutrisystem gal.
Okay.
She came in and she talked about losing weight. How did you? She was heavy at one point.
Yeah, she paid her due. Yeah, she was heavy. I mean, she says it's her Greek butt. Her origins are Greek.
Didn't you say in the book that she ate a lot of mayonnaise?
By the way, was her godfather.
You say in the book that she ate a lot of mayonnaise sandwiches and stuff?
Well, yeah, that's what. Well, she said she used to eat a lot of high-fat food. Right. When she lived in New York for a while, and but again, she handled this in a classy way because Angie tried to beat up on her in the media.
She didn't make a comment. That was classy.
And you got to, I think that's the Telly Savalas influence.
Carol, go ahead in Parksville, New York.
Good morning, everyone.
Yes.
Morning.
Ian, I wanted to guess, is your next book possibly about Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise?
Aha!
That's when I would want to read.
That's another oddball relationship.
Are you afraid to write that book?
No, but it's already been done. A good friend of mine, Andrew Morton, he wrote a book about Tom Cruise about a year ago. And, they threatened him. I don't know what happened there, but the book was pretty solid. I read it.
Is it true they're not happy together?
Apparently they're not.
Oh.
She's not enthralled by the Scientology deal, as was Nicole Kidman. Nicole Kidman said, point blank, I don't want my kids growing up being raised as Scientologists.
I see.
And is Tom Cruise as whacked out as he appears to be? I mean, he seems fucking out of his mind.
Well, apparently Pitt, I say this in the book, Pitt worked on a film with Tom Cruise years back, and
Interview with a Vampire.
He didn't enjoy the experience at all.
I read that too.
They weren't tight, and he said that Cruise was too much along the religious path, and it was.
Is your next book about Oprah?
No, I dig Oprah, man. Anyone could say anything bad about Oprah, and but I've met her, and I'll tell you one thing: she's one of the classiest, most real people I've met. I dig her, man.
Do you think she'd ever have sex with Gayle King?
Yeah.
Do you think she would?
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah, she's given us no reason to believe that. She's heterosexual.
Except by saying that
she's given us no reason to believe she's
come
heterosexual.
Come on. Who do you see Oprah banging?
Do you think Oprah would bang Obama if she got the chance? I mean, do you think she'd lick his crack?
No.
Obama,
No.
I'm going to lick your crack.
Yeah, she's an honorable woman, Oprah.
All right.
Do you like
good.
Oprah, Howard?
I have nothing against Oprah. I mean, no. I mean, the show I could live with sometimes, and enjoy. But, the thing I don't like is this. She took this $50 million from XM. I don't even hear her mention it. When she said farewell to her viewers, she doesn't even mention XM. She took $50 million. She should mention Sirius XM. Right?
Yeah.
$50 million. Show up on there. What's the matter with you? She goes, I'm retiring. Well, you got a radio network. Why don't you fucking mention it once in a while? Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. She's got to acknowledge that. But, the key is who's going to replace her.
Who in Hollywood looks like a saint but is a real asshole?
Well...
I stumped you.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Right, I want you to answer that the next time you come in here with your new subject.
All right. No, let me answer that right now.
Go ahead.
I think
Don't
Regis.
say Fred Norris.
Regis.
Regis acts like a saint and is a real asshole?
I know Regis.
No, I don't think he's an asshole. I just think that album was a bit too much for me.
What, with the album he just made with his wife?
Yeah, I mean, why do it? Do it on, just burn it in your living room. But why put this out in the public?
I think it's wrong.
Yeah, I think it's wrong. I think it's
Where is that album? I got to hear that.
I think it's disrespectful to serious artists out there.
Right. Okay. Boy, Regis, of all people. Poor Regis took a slam today. Tony, go ahead in Orlando.
Hey, guys. How you doing today?
Hey, now.
Just want to give you a call. I actually live in the same neighborhood as Tiger Woods. It's Isleworth here in Windermere, Florida.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, why is this guy?
You live in his neighborhood.
Yeah, Tony didn't sound that successful.
I am pretty good, but
okay.
I'm pretty well off. But anyway, the funny thing is his wife literally jogs around the neighborhood, and she's the town. I want to say the town girl that everybody talks about. Everybody, and she hits on every man on the block.
Get out of here! All right, it sounds like a book. Does Obama and Michelle, his wife, have good sex?
Again, I haven't been.
She seems to know.
No, I haven't been in the bedroom. And
right, but what do you hear? He talks. Yeah. He was right outside the hotel room where Angelina Jolie was.
I mean, look, Obama. You could criticize him all he wants. A lot of women I've talked to find him really hot.
Absolutely.
They're enamored with this guy.
But does he have good sex with his wife? What do you hear?
We don't know. I've never been in the bedroom.
Why not?
Who knows?
Whose bedroom
I mean,
have you
it's
been
got to
in?
be better than Bush.
Right.
That bed in the White House has got to be rocking more than what Bush did. I mean, he seemed to be just,
Does Obama cheat at all on Michelle?
We don't know. I think Obama's an honorable guy.
You do, okay.
And, I know one of
your friends... He should get out of Afghanistan. That's what he should do instead of sending more troops.
I remember Judith Regan. I was walking with her, and she said, "What's going to be your next book?" I said, "I don't know." She said, "Do Obama. There's a good story there."
What does she know?
And
I'm saying, what do you mean?
She just thought it would take off. But I'm not a political guy, man.
You don't care.
Well, I'm happy that Obama's there.
Do you think Judith knows something about? Do you think Judith knows something about Obama?
Oh, Judith knows something about everyone, man.
Right.
She's the real deal.
Does she eat ass?
Judith? I don't know. I've never been in her bedroom, but I respect
say she'd do it. I say she's up for a party.
She's one of the smartest people I've ever met in this whole business.
I agree.
Her BS detector is so high.
Yeah. Yeah. She knew all my BS. All right, listen. God bless you. Good luck to you. Hope you have a big hit with your book. It's called Brangelina. It's in stores tomorrow. That's Ian Halpern. And,
well, now we'll have to wait and see if this prediction comes true. 12 to 18 months and kaput.
Yep, we'll see how you do with this one. You predicted Michael Jackson's death based on your other Michael Jackson book there.
And regrettably, I like Jackson, but I'm not like you. I really did like Jackson, but, you know, the bottom line with Jackson, let me tell you one thing. If they would have listened to me when I made that prediction and not dismissed, my prediction went all over the world, they dismissed it and start booking him 50 shows.
Right.
They should have checked this guy into hospital with legitimate doctors.
Yeah, why don't more people listen to you?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
They're learning, you know, but Michael Jackson was the greatest, and I think he'll be missed forever.
All right. We got to take a break, Robin. It's been fascinating.
Always with Ian.
Ian
Just
always
to look at him is fascinating.
Yeah. His look alone is fascinating. Yeah. Sorry.
You're looking better every time I get
Well,
here.
thank you.
You look stunning today.
I hope his next book is about Antonio Banderas, so you guys can do the merengue.
Thank you, Ian.
Ian, so it sounds like you did your homework and you got the facts.
Well, Howard had the facts. You know, every time I come on Howard's show, he's better than any clown at 60 Minutes. This guy he's the king of all media. He knows the right questions to ask. He doesn't let me off easy because he does his homework, and that's the key to this business. And I enjoy it. I enjoy being challenged, and Robin also knew her stuff today, so it was really a fascinating experience being here and very enlightening.
Now, what do you have to say to the people that do challenge you and don't believe what you have to say?
Well, read the book. You know, my track record shows, 13, 14 books later, everything I've written is true, and if they could find one thing wrong in this book, I will sleep naked in Times Square for a month, and I'm not kidding you. That's how hard I worked on Brangelina, and it's a very sympathetic portrayal of the couple, but, you know, it's warts and all, and obviously they have a lot of skeletons in their closet. A lot of journalists have been afraid to reveal it. I'm not.
And this is the second time you've gotten Howard up to dance. Not many guests can do that. What's the connection?
Well, let me tell you something. All right, Stern, Dancing with the Stars should target him right now because he can actually dance. I'm not a dancer. He actually has some good rhythm, and I think he would kick Donny Osmond's ass in a heartbeat.
All right, man. Thanks for stopping by today.
Peace out, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Show was on last night. JD's got to make a decision on it. Judging by the email, I think Ronnie's going to get the hook.
Well, I don't know. It's all up to JD.
Listen to this. Here. JD was right again. The auto show tonight blows. And is in fact the most boringest show ever. Bury this show with Ronnie and... Oh, this is a terrible comment.
Oh, no. They didn't go there, did they?
That was bad.
Oh,
I didn't read this ahead of time.
Yeah,
I won't read that.
That's not nice.
Okay. No need to get personal.
Right. Our fans can be vicious.
I only caught the second half of the show, but that was more than I needed. Here are the problems. Your audience does not care to listen to this. 2, they have such little to talk about that they have covered the same stuff several times on the different shows. 3, the only so-called experts are from the car dealership, so their advice is skewed to help them and not the car consumer. For example, they tried to sell that extended warranty as a great idea. 4, the broad on the show is an annoying know-it-all. Can't you just bring in the Sibian to make her interesting? There may be an audience for this garbage, but surely not on the channels run by the king of all media. This one says, JD, you don't have a hair on your ass if you don't cancel this shitty show. What has changed? It is unlistenable. I'm 30 minutes into it, and I'm out.
Did JD pull any clips?
I believe you did. Did you pull clips?
I pulled clips.
Did you listen to the whole show?
I listened to the whole show.
Well, that seems to be an improvement.
With all the talk about the Ronnie Carr
We'll
show,
see.
I would tune in and check it out. I quickly turned the channel back to 100. I would rather listen to Nails on a Chalkboard than this horrible show. I got to tell you, there's not one positive email.
Not one.
But do you think that's because everybody loves seeing Ronnie miserable about not having his show?
I don't know. It seems like people were really trying to like it. And, they like Ronnie.
There was actually one email that said that they thought that the show was pretty good and informative, but he must have changed it for the worse because now this guy doesn't like it.
Oh, by the way, the couple who crashed the White House, they're on the Today Show this morning. So they must have paid the money, I guess.
They're right
I don't
over
know.
there.
I don't know. They were getting such heat. They might just need the publicity.
We all gave the Carr show another chance. We tried to bear it, but the show is just a piece of fucking shit. Ronnie cannot host a show. Save us, JD. This guy writes, some unlistenable dribble. I think he meant drivel, but okay. Why be a stickler on language? Some unlistenable dribble. Ronnie is not a good communicator. COMMNICATOR. I do not want to hear about refinancing or a fucking Wayne Siegel commercial. Kill it, JD. Howard, I want to thank you for airing Ronnie's show last night. My prescription for Ambien ran out, and I've been having a hard time falling asleep lately. I tried everything, warm milk, counting sheep, nothing worked. Finally, I gave up and tuned into Howard 101 and heard Ronnie's show. Holy shit, what a snooze fest.
That's negative.
The only thing that kept my interest was Ronnie saying, what's your problem every time someone called in? But even that got old after 2 callers.
Oh.
Is that Ronnie's new thing? He says, what's your problem?
Yes.
Yeah. The chick is annoying. Those other 2 guys are annoying. I love Ronnie, but he has to understand the show just doesn't fit. Give JD his executive powers and get this show off the air. I'd rather listen to one of those emergency broadcast tests that they used to run on the radio for an hour than Ronnie's Carr show. You're getting hammered here, bro.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
What do you think? I didn't expect it.
Wow.
I said as soon as we got off the air last night, I go, gonna get slammed like unbelievable. Even if the show is the greatest show ever.
Here's a guy who says, I love when Ronnie says, what's your problem, when you pick up the phone over there.
Yeah, okay.
So I thought this was going to be a positive. He says, that is simply the best way to introduce a caller ever. I thought these guys were supposed to be experts, yet they gave out some pretty inaccurate info. I love Ronnie. I actually find his part on the auto show entertaining. He seems like a car guy who just likes what he likes. The other alleged experts even appear to be shoveling as much bullshit as they can. Anyway, it wasn't the most boringest show ever. I hope it stays on. So here's your positive.
Wow.
Oh, there you go.
1 out of 6,000.
I know. You got hammered on this.
Yeah, I know. I knew it was coming, man.
JD, was there a
no
clip?
matter what?
Is there a clip you can play us to give us an example of how Ronnie did last night?
Sure. Try go to JD1 in red. Clip 3.
All right, what is Ronnie doing here? Can you need to set this up?
I forget what it's called. I think it's called consumer credit issues.
Okay.
Let's get into the consumer credit issues. How does it work? Can customers get credit? Have things improved since the last time we've been on the air?
Very slightly. Not much.
Can I appoint somebody to talk about this real quick? If you,
Yeah,
you got
it's
so
your
much,
show,
you got
buddy.
so much to say.
I don't.
Sean King from King of Rock. Go ahead.
I just said it.
What do you got to say?
It's they've lightened up a little bit, but not much, not to the point where we could be selling in the volume that we're accustomed to.
Right.
There's customers coming in that we've had to give it back about 5 deposits this week for people that normally would be driving right now. But
holy mackerel! Wow. I don't even know what those guys are talking about. I mean, it sounds very.
Why would you even bring up that topic?
Well, that's what. Hey, listen, they made a format for me, and that's what I followed. Okay.
What are you talking about there? Explain it to me, because I don't understand the issue. Consumer what?
Consumer credit.
Yeah, what's going on?
If you want to get a lease, or if you want to, buy a car,
because it's impossible to get a lease, right?
It's impossible to get credit now, unless you're over 600 in credit,
right?
Or you have to go to one of these really like shit companies where you pay like 22% interest,
right?
It's called the mafia.
It's the guy on the corner.
The mafia doesn't even have the balls to give you 22%.
Yeah, it's like basically using a credit card,
right? Wow.
If you have shit credit,
Well, I guess it's good information. I guess people feel maybe
people were calling in, dude. I don't know. Everybody thought McClure, who produces the show, thought it was great.
He did?
Yeah.
I think he's afraid to tell you what he really thinks.
Dude, I told him, tell me the truth. I don't care.
Really?
You tell me the fucking truth.
I got a lot of memos from some of the higher ups after the show, and Didn't seem like they loved it.
Like
honestly.
who?
I don't want to say.
Like who, Tim?
Yeah.
He's the one who said it was good.
He lies to you.
Why is he lying? Why doesn't he tell the fucking truth, idiot?
Here's a guy
Stupid
here's a guy who
asshole.
listened to the show. Let's see what he has to say.
Stupid asshole.
Hi, you're on the air.
How you doing? Who's this, Howard?
Yes.
Yeah, it's Corky.
Oh, fuck him.
Corky's your
Fuck that
nemesis.
piece of shit. Shut him off.
Uh-oh. Let me weigh in on what I have to.
I don't want to hear your voice, man.
Well, let's hear what Corky has
I
to
don't
say.
want to hear him.
Let's hear what he has to say. Go ahead, Corky.
Listen, on the show, I would be able to teach people. You always ask, how do people last? How do people last? I know how to last. I can weigh in on how to have sex with your old lady while you're cheating on her and still, have sex. With the economy being the way it is, we could talk
Corky,
about...
Ronnie tried to have you on. You left.
What?
You left.
Yeah, Ronnie, I had to leave because I don't want to be around those people.
You're
you
a
know what I mean?
psychopath. That's why you left.
What?
You're a psycho. That's why you left.
Yeah, I'm a psycho.
Yeah.
Look at you, Ronnie.
I'm calm as can be. You walked out of here sweating with your shirt off.
Yeah, first of all, I walked over there 6 blocks. It was 100 degrees that day.
Yeah, 100 degrees. We didn't have 100-degree fucking weather day in the summer. Come on. What the fuck are you talking about?
You didn't know that guy Jared actually ripped me off.
Jared?
Yeah, when Stan was still at K-Rock.
Corky, all I know is we told Ronnie to have you on the show. You said you could make the car show interesting. You knew everything about cars.
And then you left.
And then we get you up here and you act like a fucking lunatic and then you leave.
Right.
What do you mean acting like a lunatic?
Everyone said you were whacked out.
What do you mean everybody said
What
that?
happened?
Everybody said you were whacked out. You
We don't. What do you mean?
sweating
You don't
like a
understand
pig.
that?
You're in
did
the
you-
bathroom every 5 minutes.
And then you left? Like, why did you leave?
You never got on. You left.
But I thought I went to do the show with Ronnie.
Yeah, well you
Well,
were going to do the show with Ronnie.
Ronnie was here.
You gave a guy that couldn't even put a sentence together the power to cancel it. Why don't you give me the power to fix it?
Come on, man.
No, Corky,
Apparently we
I
tried
gave you the power to fix it, and you walked out. You never got on the air because you're a baby.
What do you mean I'm a baby?
You should have walked in there and shown us your stuff. You had a rare opportunity to get on there, and you walked out because other people were on the show. Don't be a douchebag. Just get in there and do your thing.
Well, I was trying to.
No, you weren't. You walked out. You never even got in the studio. Did he ever get in the
He
studio?
came in the studio.
Yeah.
We never even got on. We got on the air, and he never, because he wasn't on right from the beginning.
Right.
He got all insulted, and he started to sweat. And he had to take his shirt off, and he was running to the bathroom, and then he ran to
Shirt off?
Yeah, he took his shirt
my
off.
God.
And then he runs over to the gym, and he goes, "I can't stay in this place anymore," and he runs out of the place.
You're whacked out.
It's like that guy who went nuts in Michael Clayton.
Corky, you're fucking nuts.
Give me a break, all right?
There was four other people in there. What's the big deal? There's 5 or 6 people in Howard's studio. You didn't run out of here.
Listen, I don't want to be part of that, all right? Look at it. It's the third
Well, what do
show.
you want to be part of?
You had an opportunity. You blew it.
Could have changed it.
You blew it.
All right, fine.
Yeah, good
It's
night.
true.
Go back to sleep, please.
Corky, it's the truth.
Wow.
How many guys get a shot? We listened to you on the phone. You were entertaining. You made some good points. I said to you, okay, I'll give you a shot. Get in on Ronnie's show. Ronnie goes, I'm not working with Corky. We talked to Ronnie. Ronnie goes, all right, I'll work with Corky. I mean, Ronnie can't stand you, and he was willing to work with you.
And then you come in and take your shirt off.
And you show up.
And you sweat.
You're sweating. You take your shirt off, and then you have to, I can't be in here.
I had freaking long pants and sneakers on. I walked. It was 100 degrees.
No, it was not 100 degrees.
So let's say it was 100 degrees. What do you need to leave for?
Go splash some water on your face.
Yeah, calm yourself down.
Well, he was in the bathroom enough times.
There's air conditioning in here. I don't understand what your problem is.
What are you doing in the bathroom?
Howard, when you were at 92.3 K-Rock,
Yeah.
they gave me Sabian's number to call you up to do the show. I ended up talking to Jared. I've been talking to him for 3 years.
Corky, here's the facts.
First of all, Sabian didn't work at K-Rock with us.
Corky.
Jared didn't work at K-Rock
not.
with us.
Corky.
K-Rock, when you were at K-Rock, you gave me the phone number to Sirius to call over there.
Corky.
Yeah.
All I know is I got you down here. I put you on Ronnie's car show, and you walked off after 2 seconds.
Right. Forget all the other details.
Because other people, forget all the past. because other people were in the studio. You can't do it.
What are you, a prima donna?
Yeah, I mean, who are you? You're nobody. What you got to do is become somebody. You had an opportunity. Even if you'd gotten on for 5 minutes, you could have shined or shown.
So, give me a chance to fix the show.
I gave you a chance. You walked out.
How many chances do you want?
You're done.
You didn't give me a chance. I came in expecting to do the show with Ronnie.
Yeah, Ronnie was sitting there. There were other people. That's right.
You had car dealers there telling people all kinds of
So
crazy.
you should have walked in and said, what kind of fucking show is this? You got a room full of car dealers. Why don't these guys leave? You should have mixed it up.
All right, well, then my mistake. Give me another shot.
Another shot.
Well, we don't even know if this show still exists.
He'll come in with a gun this time. He'll give us a shot.
I'm waiting to hear what Jay. I don't even know that Jay's going to keep the show on the air.
Come on a cold day, so your shirt's on.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, maybe we'll have you on in the winter.
It was cold last night. It would have been good for him.
It's got to be a winter show.
It's hot outside.
We froze our ass off in the studio last night.
It's hot outside. He couldn't do the show.
I know. He was sweating, man.
Kept going to the bathroom.
Yeah, what was up with that?
Did you get caught in a blizzard in the bathroom?
Why did you go to the bathroom so much?
I don't know how to take a leak. What do you want?
How many leaks do you have to take?
Yeah, first time I went to wipe the sweat off my head, they had spotlights on me.
Oh, my God. Now you can't even have lights.
Holy shit.
They had spotlights on them. What is wrong with you, man? Nobody had spotlights on you. That's studio lights.
Right.
You want to work in the dark?
No, I don't want to work in the
Howard
dark.
TV was filming that night.
Well, that's a camera.
They had a camera.
It's showbiz.
Yeah, that's how it works, Corky.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I don't know. What are you going to do, man?
Maybe showbiz isn't for you.
Come on, give me another shot. I can fix this shit.
All this stuff is going to be the same, Corky. They're going to be lights.
It would have been great. You had something to complain about. You could have gotten in there and go, look at these fucking lights. What are these lights?
And he could have complained about the car dealers.
Right.
Get the fuck out.
Right.
Corky, I've been in
I don't like you guys. Get out.
No,
it would have been great.
It said Corky left.
Yeah.
That's some guy.
And he's insulting the chick who did absolutely nothing to him.
Yeah, he should have insulted her right on the air.
Corky, I've been in show business for 20 years. I've always looked horrendous in these lights.
Yeah. Corky, you had an opportunity. You had a room full of people you could have screamed about, and you would have been entertaining.
So give me a shot to fix the shot.
You don't have what it takes.
Keeps with the shot. You had a shot.
You didn't recognize what a good opportunity you had. You're not a broadcaster.
You're right.
You blew it.
No, I didn't blow it. Give me a shot to fix the show. I mean,
What are you going to do? How are you going to fix it?
You can't even stay in the room.
You're going to fix this from outside where it's cold?
No shirts, no service.
Artie's sweating. He's wiping sweat off his head. Look at him.
It's all these fucking lights.
All right. Corky, I don't know what to tell you. I gave you a shot.
All right, well, then I don't know what to tell you either.
I mean, did you listen? Did you listen last night to Ronnie's show?
Yeah, I heard the show. It was unbelievable.
Horrible?
Even the guy that called in with the twins, and he was getting rid of his car because he didn't have twins. He had one kid. Ronnie didn't even know what to tell the guy. You know, he wanted to change down for a smaller car.
Hello, I wasn't talking to the guy. The dealers were talking to him. I just answer the calls and I let the panel talk to the people. That's the whole idea.
Sounds like a highlight. Advice to keep the car.
Yeah, so what the fuck you want from me?
Knock her up again, and he's gonna end up having to buy a bigger car. You should have told him to just keep it.
All right, Corky.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for your advice.
You know, it's easy on the sidelines. You had your shot, and you
ran out.
You ran out.
Sweating.
So give me another shot.
Come on. Stop already.
Come on, stop already.
Who even knows if Ronnie's going to get another shot?
Well,
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, the show is on the ropes, Corky, because you didn't take the time to fix it.
I brought this Corky in. He tells me he could fix it. And then I put him in there. He runs out. He's all sweaty. I mean, that's some fix. He ran out of there. I go, if you had a problem, go in there and straighten things out. Stop bossing people around. Start making a complaint.
Yell at him.
Well, yell at him.
Get the hell out. I don't like you.
I was out of here.
Corky, you got to use your head. You're a broadcaster. You had a room full of opportunity.
Well, my mistake. Give me another shot.
Everything bothers you. That's good. Get on the air and let it bother you.
Maybe we could do the show from a Mr. Softy truck. You'll be nice and cool.
Ronnie, all over Corky.
Oh, Ronnie at least shows up and does the show. Corky, I don't know. He talks a good game, then he gets in the room and he freaks out and runs out. He's busy in the bathroom every minute.
Yeah.
Wiping himself
Every time
down.
we turned around, he was in the bathroom.
Lights are freaking him out. He was freaking out.
That
was the word I got.
He couldn't handle it.
He couldn't. He was cracked.
Yeah, definitely. He cracked. Definitely
Get
cracked.
out of here. What are you
cracked, man. Admit it. You're fucking cracked. You're cracked, you asshole.
Well, listen to what happened. He goes, there's lights on. It's a TV camera. He's freaking out.
The spotlights.
Yeah, it was uncomfortable.
I don't think this is for you, Corky.
I was complaining about the air conditioning every morning for years. You were uncomfortable.
But I was there. I was on the air complaining.
You didn't leave.
You should have complained on the air.
That's interesting.
Corky, if they ain't cracking, what is? You're cracked.
Right.
You're cracked up. You're freaked out. Then why'd you leave?
The guy came, dude. The guy comes with a whole bag of notes. He's got notes. He's got all kinds of shit going on.
Right.
A whole plastic bag with notes in it and crap. I don't know what the hell he had in there. And all of a sudden, he's like, "I'm out of here. I got to get out of this place." Holy shit!
You got to get out of the place. You can't get out of the. He's on the show and he's getting out of the place.
Man,
never heard of anything like that. Then he wants to be on again.
AJ Benza lasted 2 months.
You had your shot.
See you, man. Take care.
All right, Corky.
So long, man.
Take it easy.
Take care.
I remember the old Corky with Cadillac chassis, talking a big game.
I like this Corky. He's got an energy.
He's a phone guy, though.
Yeah,
He's a phone
definitely.
guy.
We should have
He's
had
a
him
caller.
call in on the phone, maybe.
Right.
He's interesting.
And maybe he wouldn't have freaked out.
Why didn't he should have called in last night? Why didn't he call in?
He's got the right temperature and the
Could've
right
called in.
lighting at home.
Jeff, go ahead in Youngstown, Ohio.
Hey, what's up, Howard?
Hey.
Hey, I wanted to see if JD pulled the clip where Ronnie was like fumbling around with the whole used car issue. Like these guys didn't even understand what he was even trying to say. It was weird. Like he said he had a whole agenda of what like he was supposed to talk about.
Did you pull that clip?
There is a clip, used cars. It's probably in the second column in red.
Yeah, I got a little.
It's great.
I got a little twisted.
It's
All right,
twisted.
I got a little twisted.
All right, let's
it got
listen.
a lot twisted.
Shut the fuck up.
Let's listen to the clip.
What are the advantages of used cars?
The biggest advantage, tell me if you guys agree, is it's already depreciated.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it's already depreciated.
Right, you know,
But,
it's-
Ronnie, are you asking how to best buy a used car?
No, what is the advantage of buying a used
The biggest
car?
advantage
Over a new
That's
car.
it. The biggest advantage is that it's already depreciated.
Yeah.
The same car a year newer, it might be another $5 or $6 grand. $5 or $6 grand in your payment might be another $75.
I got to admit, the show does kind of sound like one of those.
So why is that my fault? These guys can't answer a fucking question.
Well, yeah.
Well,
What's wrong
you
with them?
picked him to do the show, didn't you?
No.
Basically,
no, I didn't.
Who picked him?
I heard that like you get confused when there's production elements. They put that little fancy music stinger behind you, and you freaked out.
No, I didn't.
Right.
No. What are you talking about?
That's the note I got.
He said note.
You're not comfortable with the production.
What are you talking about?
That's what I got.
Go away.
You asked the guy what's the advantage of a used car? He basically said it's used.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's my fault?
No, I'm saying.
The guy is supposed to be a fucking expert in finding used cars for people.
I got to admit, the show kind of sounds like one of those public access shows
Yeah.
that they prank, that Sal and Richard prank. You know what I mean? I don't know. So let's see. Anybody else hear Ronnie's show last night? Go ahead, Dave.
Hey, Howard, love you. Just want to say I drive 90 miles one way from Fredericksburg, Virginia to Fort Meade every day, and if it wasn't for your show, I'd drive my fucking car off a damn bridge.
Well, thanks.
But I listened to Ronnie's show, and the whole reason I listened to it was hoping that Richard or Sal would call in and prank it, but it's like listening to a biased dealer tell you what they want to tell you. They're not going to tell you when the best time to come in and buy a car is. Every day is a good time to buy a car, so I listened for about a half an hour, and then I did drive my car off the friggin' bridge.
Right.
So,
Well, the guy gave it a shot, Ronnie.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, wow.
Well, that's not the way I wanted to do the show, but whatever.
What were your ideas?
I was going to bring in strippers to talk about cars. Girls that know about cars. I was going to do a whole crazy thing.
Who knows? You know, it's hard. It's hard.
They
to
want to
figure
do car dealers and all that nonsense. You
Go
know?
ahead, Mark.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Hey, Ronnie, I want to wish you condolences on that.
Don't even start, man. We went through this last night.
Sleeping. What's going on, brother?
What do you mean, condolences on the show?
Yeah, and then the guy goes, one guy goes, something about his mother just died of schneck. Neck cancer?
Yeah, that was a reference to Miserable Men. You know, obviously you don't pay attention to the channel, you little Eugene.
No, I don't listen to Miserable Men. I'm sorry. I'm asleep at that time.
Yeah, the popular shows. Yeah, those are no good, right?
Yeah, okay. I didn't say it was no good, asshole. Did I say it was no good? When did I say it was no good? Everybody has a different kind of show here.
Well, JD, what are you going to do? What are you going to do about the show? I mean, I've given you the power over Ronnie's show. You're the only one on the staff who listens to it. What do you think? Can you give us some insight into what you're feeling?
Well, after the last time, I felt bad because I didn't really listen to the whole show. So I definitely took the time to listen to the whole show this time.
All right.
To give a good opinion, and this is going to shock everyone.
Go ahead.
But the show's still canceled. Sorry, Ron.
Okay.
Ronnie can have like a relationship type show or just something else. Ronnie's not the problem.
He can.
It's the topic, and it's not interesting. And
well, maybe Ronnie wants to change it up. Maybe you want this time slot. Maybe bring in a whole new kind of show.
Maybe.
What do you think?
We have an idea that we've been thinking of. So
what do you got?
Richie Wilson came up with this show. It's called What's Your Problem?
Okay.
And it's like anybody could call in about anything, about the stripper having a problem with her shoes, or a guy having marital problems, whatever, any kind of crazy shit like that.
Maybe not.
And we have a panel of like crazy girls instead of these fucking boring car dealers.
Right.
Why do they have to be girls?
Why not?
You can have a guy.
That's my thing, man.
Because Ronnie wants girls.
Yeah, exactly.
Trust me, I know.
Why would
I already talked to the Hemi girl or whatever. I know.
Why would I want?
What was that?
Excuse me?
Nothing.
What'd you say?
I said I know how I hear how he talked to the Hemi girl.
The Hemi girl.
I know he wants a girl.
My co-host.
He has to have a girl.
He likes having girls.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's also he could go to the clubs and say, "Hey, you want to be on my show?" And then it gives him entree into
Yeah, he becomes a big man.
Right.
I could have guys on too. Okay. You could be on.
Well, he's
you have a lot of problems. So you might want to participate.
He scores me. He's about meeting girls.
No, Ricky Man, stop
Ricky
that.
Man meeting
Why don't you
guys.
do a show called like Ronnie's Whore Room? Like where you,
cool.
I'm being serious.
I'd love to.
Where you just interview chicks who like love to fuck and love to charge money for
let's do it.
Whore stuff.
Let's cook some whores.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Maybe go that route.
Yeah.
Maybe sex is your thing.
Who knows?
Want to throw in some cars?
We can throw some car shit in there.
More important than cars.
Yeah, we can throw in some
It's like getting fucked with a carburetor.
Yeah.
Wayne, you're on the... Wayne Siegel, you're
come on, Wayne.
All right, listen. When we went in there, we were told, don't talk over one another, don't get it crazy. And Ronnie was trying to keep us all at bay, so we weren't getting nuts with the people who were calling in. But nobody called in and said, the show fucking sucks. People were calling with legitimate questions, and it wasn't an advertisement for any car dealer.
Right.
Oh, so you still want to be on the show? You don't want to be...
Sounds like you've been replaced by a whore.
Hey, Wayne. If we do a horse show, do you still want to be on it?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, Wayne just wants to be on.
Wheels and horse cars and cons, vehicles and vaginas, I'm in.
All right. All right.
He's memorized that one.
Before I called in.
All right. Wayne, good luck. Wayne from Legend Porsche Audi Saab.
Yes.
Everything.
Good guy.
Right.
Good guy.
Volkswagen.
All right, Wayne Ski.
All right. Bye,
Wayne
pal.
Siegel, everyone. Co-host with Ronnie on a show that just got canceled. Again. So, JD, you're sticking to your guns on this.
Yes.
You gave him a shot. That's good. I like that you gave Ron a chance. And you still say it's the most boringest show ever.
No more. No more car buying, dealing, whatever. Sorry.
Hey, I'll go with another topic. I don't care.
All right.
That's fine.
Maybe try something next week or whenever you go on again.
Okay.
Get rid of some of those car dealers and get some
whores
exactly.
Let's get some whores in there.
Maybe you'll have more luck with whores.
Yeah. Sure, JD, because remember the classic story. Seinfeld was only picked up for 4 episodes, and then they found the magic. You don't want to give them 2 more to see if you can find the magic?
I don't know what magic you can get from learning about consumer credit issues.
All right, fine.
He's got a point.
Or,
might not be a good match for the channel.
Or whether a used car, buying a used car is good because it's depreciated, whatever. I don't know. I zoned out 90 times during the show.
I'm just trying to get a clearer picture.
Hello?
Yeah, so what do you know about cars?
What you mean?
Yeah, good. Okay, so what about the Camaro?
Yeah, I'm the one that got it. What?
Yeah, it's a piece of